Hello everyone, we are live. Welcome to another OSP live stream. Today we're playing a little bit of Breath of the Wild again. We are wrapping our quadrilogy, tetralogy. I don't know. We're raising some money this time for the Philadelphia Mural Arts Project, which is very exciting, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. As I am doing some back-end work to organize this and get the fundraiser going, I am Blue, and today we are joined by Red. Say hi.
Hey, heyo.
And Indigo.
Hello.
A smaller crew than we've had in previous streams, but that's all right. We're still having a grand old time.
The OSPod crew.
Yeah, it's the OSPod. We're
OSPod
basically
crew,
just doing
exactly.
OSPod with visuals. I've tweeted the link.
Splendid.
So that's all good.
Edit. Add videos.
Sweet. Alrighty.
Save.
Hyrule Sightseeing. Let's see.
All
So
right.
as I recall, okay, right. So we're gonna put the donation link up. If you don't see it pop up, you might need to reload.
It's in.
Okay. Sweet business. Let me just reload on my end. And then we will. There it is. Woo! Alrighty. So let's see. Today it's for the Philadelphia Mural Arts.
Yes.
Indigo, I believe this was your choice for.
Yes. So
the Philly
Mural
one,
Arts.
Indigo? No.
I know it's
There's
a
no way
cold
that
read,
John's
but
for me. Yeah. So this charity that we're streaming for is the Philly Mural Arts, Friends of Mural Arts, Philly Mural Arts Association. I just call it Mural Arts. It's a charity near and dear to my heart because I've volunteered with them many times in the past. And also, if you've ever been to the city of Philadelphia, you've probably seen the results of their hard work. They're part of what makes the city so artistically wonderful. What they do is that they help fund and produce murals all throughout the city. Yes, Philly gang, I see you in chat. And they work very closely with the communities where they're painting these murals. A lot of times they'll be either artists from the local community or they will have the community choose the subject of the mural, as well as hosting all sorts of community paint days where they'll have people who are local come in and help paint the mural, as well as all sorts of arts education and outreach that really helps, make the city that much more beautiful and helps connect people who are in the city with the fine world of art and painting. It's a lot of fun. I volunteered at their paint days in the past, and it's a great way to, support the arts in the most trying year. And it's also a kind of art that you could enjoy pretty much just by walking around any random street. So it's very COVID safe, just go outside, look at some murals.
yeah, baby.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's really exciting.
All right.
So we've got
It's
a goal of 5K. We'll try to think of some fun stretch goals. After the Clio Tuna, I'm not sure how we can top it, but we'll try to think of something.
Yeah. And let's see. The goal for the stream itself. Are we doing a memory rush?
We're
or
doing a
just
memory
futzing
rush,
around?
yeah. So I described it as a tour through Hyrule, because we're going to take it nice and chill, but we have to go get the camera from the folks up in the Hatino Tech Lab. And then we go back to Kakariko Village, which will be fun because we still don't have the fast travel for Kakariko. And then we'll just kind of bop around the map, seeing all of the memories. And it's fun. It's a little reverse image search kind of puzzle where you get given the picture and then you have to find where it is. Oh, my soup ladle broke.
No!
Oh no.
No soup.
How can I consume my soup now?
I immediately forgot that we were streaming Breath of the Wild and thought you meant a real life soup ladle, which was so confusing.
Naughty Cleo,
Because that is,
knocks it
like,
off a shelf.
the queen of all multitasking, making soup and streaming Breath of the Wild.
Oh, that's helpful.
Alrighty. Well, I'm excited
man.
for this. I've never actually seen a memory rush, although I obviously know the gist of most of what happens in
We're
this
gonna
game.
get some of that sweet Zelda deep lore on this stream because pretty much most of the story of the game happens either when you're in one of those big bad boy divine beasts or finding the memories.
Oh,
I'm
man.
excited to see.
Yeah. Someone recently asked me if Zelda is like an actual character in this game, and I had to explain to him, like, well, it kind of depends on your definition. Like, he was like, okay, is
playable
she...
character? No.
He was like, is she in the game? And I was like, well, yes. No matter what I say, the answer will be yes. But one of them is yes, but, and one of them is yes in tons of cutscenes that are optional. So.
Oh god, it's raining. Damn it!
No! The bane of this specific challenge.
I'm like, why did my arrow go out? Oh, heck. Well, let me see if I can get some
It
sticks.
always seems to happen, when we start doing this one particular, because to kind of give context, people just around the stream, in order to get to the ability to look at the memories, we have to light all these lanterns leading up to the forge at the top.
Up there.
Up top. And if it's raining, the fire goes out. So
Yay!
it always seems to rain whenever we start this quest.
Yeah.
Or anyone. Like every time I play through Breath of the Wild, it starts raining. I'm starting to think it's
I've seen
programmed into the
anyone
game.
do it. Yeah, I'm wondering if it's just the game like
Tree
flexing
branch,
on
there
you.
you go. Yeah, I'm
Now
sure
you
there's,
see, Link. There's nothing you possess that I cannot take away.
There's probably an invisible like tripwire that's like, okay, Link has gotten this far, cool. Make it rain.
Make him suffer.
Make it rain,
Incredible.
and then it just starts. Rupees just start falling from the sky.
Yeah.
Cash money. Sunglasses descend from the heavens onto Link's face. All right.
So I'm really like living my biggest 20-something producer life right now because I rolled up to the stream maybe 5 minutes late with an iced coffee.
After watching a new Hollywood release.
After watching a new Hollywood, I went and saw The Green Knight.
Woo!
I'm not gonna show any spoilers, but if you guys want to hear some thoughts,
But
it just came out.
spoilers for a 500-plus-year-old ballad?
Well, the movie has its own story. Well, it actually kind of does. It's a style over substance movie for sure. It's gorgeous, and the costume design in particular, like, if you go to the Ren Fair this year and you see me and you do not look like you have the knightly cape of Dev Patel, then I do not want to that absolutely gorgeous. And all of the shots are beautiful. There's a few that look like they're pulled directly from Renaissance paintings. But it's definitely like aesthetically more of a journey than it is necessarily having a particular plot or character arc in it. Go for the visuals. Definitely worth seeing on the big screen. But kind of quiet and contemplative as opposed to like a fantasy action adventure, you know? Is it good? It is.
I have heard that it is gay. Is this accurate, would you say?
Okay, so it's not not gay, but I don't think it's the gay rep that it would be touted as. There is a scene where men kiss, but it's related to like Red, you did a video that discussed this particular event. It's related to the guy whose house he stays at, and then he's like, "Well, anything you get here, you have to give to me at the end of the day, right?"
Kisses him, and then he kisses the husband, right?
It's that bit. So it's not necessarily like not gay, but it's also not necessarily like it's not like the representation on the levels of like the Owl House, you know?
Yeah. Where I believe they referred to each other as girlfriends once every 5 minutes in the most recent episode.
Exactly. It's just boys kissing on screen, which is also something that you can say of the first Best Picture winner ever, Wings, which is just Top Gun Light. Yes, Wings featured the first on-screen male kiss.
Wait, what year is this movie from?
1928, I think.
So was the movie about like the fucking Wright brothers?
No, that's pre-Hays Code. Also, I think those guys were actually brothers. So.
Well, I mean, but like, what planes could there have been in the 20s? Like we just figured out prop planes for the war.
Yeah, but that you know.
So Wings is actually fascinating. First of all, it's very, very good. It's one of 2 silent films to ever win Best Picture.
Oh, sorry. Quick question: are we just standing in place?
We have to wait for the rain to end.
Oh, okay. All right. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I took the opportunity to drop my $500 donation into chat to get us going.
I was wondering who that was.
Yeah. Wings is kind of like proto Top Gun, so you can read it as gay if you want to. I think it's a very modern reading of it. But also it's about like World War I pilots, and it's got a lot of weird Arthurian references in it, so it's actually pretty apt to compare it to The Green Knight.
Interesting.
But it's of the first 10 or so Best Picture winners, Wings is kind of one of the better ones. So if you're gonna watch one old Best Picture winner, I would recommend, considering Wings if you're into some cool flight. And also it was shot in a similar way to Top Gun, where there is actual aerial footage that they shot. And the reason that it was directed by who it was is because he was a former pilot, and therefore was the only person qualified to go shoot movie footage up in a plane.
That's funny.
Hell yeah.
Which
That's
I think is great.
1920 something, like that's pre-Hays Code. That explains why that was allowed.
Yeah, well, it's the first one. It gets credited as the first one, a lot. And after watching it, I would say it is debatable if it is intended to be gay or not. It is two battle brothers who definitely share a deep bond, and while I would certainly be inclined to read it as gay nowadays, I don't know necessarily what the intention was, so I hesitate to say. I would say watch it for yourself and decide how you feel like reading it. I choose to read it as maybe they were a little bit in love, but it's a big spoiler for when it happens in the movie, so I can't get too into it in case people decide to go back and watch it. But definitely, I would lean towards saying they're probably at least a little bit in love, but you certainly could read it in a different way if you'd like. It certainly could be like a brotherhood thing.
There is a 100% heterosexual explanation for this makeout session.
The thing is, there kind of is in the movie, which is why it's confusing. No, but it's good. I have to watch another Best Picture winner to finally like get back into it, because I think that there's a lot of value in watching a pre-selected slate of movies that takes you through the entirety of time that movies have been being produced. Because it's a really interesting way to get kind of like a look into what people were worried about over time, because it's pretty much a constant cycle of like, and we will do war movies for 5 years, and now we will do things that aren't war movies for 5 years, and now we'll do war movies again, but this time it's World War II.
Yeah,
and it kind of just cycles through that.
Oh, good stuff.
All
right, let's see.
The Westerns will never die.
To the man who in the chat commenting, 2 bros sitting in a cockpit. Accurate.
True bros kiss each other on the lips, bro.
2 bros sitting in a cockpit in separate planes because they're not gay.
What was that meme which was like, it was Shakespeareifying the 2 bros sitting in a hot tub, but it was like full like iambic pentameter, like everything.
Oh my gosh.
I know for a fact, like one of the Greens has sent this to our group before. It's, and I can't attempt to just produce iambic pentameter off the top of my head, so I will not, but it is very funny.
It's always a good start to start off with forsooth, because that fits the rhythm, and that gets you 2 syllables right out the gate.
Forsooth, these bros are gay as fuck.
Forsooth, the brethren doth protest too much.
Yeah.
Man, I didn't think we were going to end up talking about wings in this stream, but I'm glad that we've already gotten there after about 10 minutes.
OSP live streams
to kiss your plate, homies.
are a journey. Here we go. Yeah, look at this.
The person in chat asking if we have a green and blue group chat. It's not that there's necessarily explicitly a group chat with all the greens in it, but all the greens are our friends, and so we do have a group chat that they're in.
Yeah. It was originally like our fencing friends group chat, which over time became the Greens, Indigo, and me, because I have been all of their roommates.
Yes. That's the common thread, is that they've all lived with blue at some point, and they have become
improbably that is the case.
Incredible.
Incredible.
Nope, that's a bow.
All right.
There we go.
Boo.
Purra asked me to shoot her, and I almost did, literally.
Oh, man. So I got some funny mural arts related stories since we're streaming for them anyway.
Let's go.
Yeah, may as well.
So, they do a lot of community paint days, which is where they'll have people come and just start help filling in the mural before they paint it. Sometimes they do it on these canvas sheets that then get pasted to a wall.
I'm so sorry. Chat put the Shakespearean thing in it.
Yes.
2 fair men sit in water warm and slow. As brothers they are joined heart to heart. But Cupid hath not struck them with his bow. Lest that be thought, they sit 5 feet apart.
Ah, yes. Excellent.
Yeah! Shakespeare in the park, baby.
Woo!
Shakespeare in the hot tub.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So part of what Mural Arts does is they'll host community paint days. One in particular that they do pretty much every year is sponsored by the Philadelphia Eagles because, go birds. And I worked on that one. I was volunteering for summer to help finish the mural after the community paint day because we were painting at an elementary school. So there were lots of kids around and they were helping to fill in the mural. And one of the wonderful things about kids painting is that they're not very good at staying in the lines. So what we would do afterwards is go and then fix all the lines up in the painting. But as part of that event, unbeknownst to Indigo, Eagles were there to help paint because, they had sponsored the paint day. So I'm sitting up on some scaffolding, just like doing my thing, filling in some parts of the mural. And a bunch of these like kind of really buff dudes in these matching white bucket hats roll up. And they're all like, one of them sits down and starts painting with me, and we're just chatting, and I'm making like casual conversation, like, oh, where are you from? And he's like, oh, I went to like college in Indiana or whatever. I'm like, oh, great, thinking that this was just a bunch of college kids who came to like volunteer and hang out. And then the end of the day, we're packing everything up. And my mom had been at paint day as well. And afterwards, she's like, wow, you met so many Eagles today. And I was like, what are you talking about? They were all where the media was. I was a different part of the wall. And she was like, no, like those guys you were painting with are all Eagles players. And she showed me a photo that she took where I'm sitting on this top layer of scaffolding. Excuse you.
Sorry.
Next to some bunch of dudes, and there's like 5 guys in bucket hats all over the scaffolding, and directly underneath me, where I can't see them, was Swoop, the Eagles mascot. So I met a lot of the Eagles, backup players that day. That's the kind of fun and activities that you can help pay for by donating to Philadelphia Mural Arts.
Like, there's more beefy dudes in Philly than I remember.
See, I just like was so ready to accept that like they're just some really buff college kids. To the school in Philly I was working at, it was I think Prince Hall Elementary, kind of in Kensington area. I worked on that mural all summer. I kind of stayed on with the artist David McShane and helped fill in all of the parts that we didn't get to on the initial paint day, and it's a lot of fun. If you have spare time and have the opportunity, I highly recommend either going to a paint day or volunteering with them if you're in Philly, because it's a great way to get involved in the arts and also a lot of fun.
Hell yeah.
Ooh. You might meet some Eagles players. I'm not going to guarantee that. But if you see any matching white bucket hats, you've been warned.
Yep. Also, Blue couldn't help but notice you just
You didn't notice a damn thing.
Well, all right then.
I had equipped the stick when I went to go fight that bokoblin, and also when I blew them up, it made it such that he got blown up to in front of me.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's rough, buddy.
I made up for it with that sick as hell skateboarding trick to get over the spikes.
Hell yeah.
Ow. Okay. Maybe not.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah?
There we go. Second time.
Hooray!
I'm good at this video game.
Honestly, you've gotten a lot of goodwill just from surviving for that long against Ganon last
Ganon
time.
fight. I can't believe I fucking stun-locked Fire Blight with bombs.
Dude, you're good at this game, alright? Like, it's just like, you've been watching Point Crow and other people who do this for a living, and you're like, oh, I can't measure up. My boomy zoomies are only successful like 10% of the time. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, the speedrunning hacks are a little hard to do.
I'm all boom and no zoom.
You do get a little bit of distance with the ragdoll, but I don't think you're supposed to take damage
Yeah,
from
no, that's drop distance that I could have accomplished that anyway.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Oh,
watching Point Crow and Small Ant will make anyone feel inferior by comparison.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. What has chat been up to?
Oh,
Yeah, not much.
talking about stuff.
Just
hanging
stuff.
out, chatting. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Perfect. Oh, what was I? I remember. I was reading through the TV tropes page for Horizon Zero Dawn, a game I've never played,
yes.
and it somehow, I'd somehow avoided all the spoilers for it. So I was just reading through it, like, what? Holy shit! Wow, really? So that's cool. I don't know. It seems like we've got like some kind of unofficial no spoiler policy on this stream, and I don't know how I feel about that. I feel like it's gonna stifle my creativity.
If you would like to give spoilers, I can't stop you. I would just feel bad
That's
spoiling a
true.
movie that came out like 3 days ago.
Right, all right, that's fair. Horizon Zero Dawn's been out for several years. at
Horizon
this
Zero
point.
Dawn has been out for a hot
Here,
minute.
let's do this.
you know?
Red, when we conclude the Horizon Zero Dawn chat, you can drop a note in the chat letting them know, for anyone who does not want to be spoiled for Horizon Zero Dawn, that it is safe to resume.
All right. Well, the thing is, I caveat, I don't know how much I know about this. I only got through the, I believe, Fs before we started the stream. But like, so obviously, the base premise of Horizon Zero Dawn, the thing that's on the box art is, cave woman lady, post-apocalyptic world fights robot dinosaurs. Very basic stuff. And I guess it looks like it's like, okay, there was some kind of cataclysm, probably involving the robot dinosaurs, just a cold read. And the civilization was destroyed and scattered, and the survivors are in like a post-apocalyptic, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, so 2020.
Yeah,
Get with it, guys.
Jeez. Get a new plot, you dudes. But then, like, it seems like the actual twist is that the apocalyptic event that wiped out, et cetera, actually successfully wiped out all life on Earth. And everything that's alive now is a terraforming and cloning effort to get things back in order to make the planet habitable again, which is I'll admit, like reading a thing about, oh, it's post-apocalyptic. I was like, yeah, post-apocalyptic. But somehow this feels worse as a post-apocalyptic. It's like, oh, it would have been fine if, civilization was nearly wiped out and they rebuilt to the wreckage. It feels worse to know that Earth was like a fully uninhabitable death ball for a while, which is neat. I gotta admit, that's quite cool, I think. Just
pretty
world
ballsy.
wise.
Pretty ballsy.
Yeah.
I respect, the commitment.
Yeah. And I guess the way they mostly get you exposition in the game is through apocalypse logs and like records and audio logs and stuff that Aloy can listen through her little head chippy thing. I don't remember exactly how that works. And this means that you can actually like see, like hologram versions of the characters playing out what their audio log is, which is cool. Sometimes that means you can watch them die. That sounds pleasant. And I guess the unofficial antagonist, because obviously, if all life on Earth died, you can't have any old world antagonists rattling around that aren't, AIs or robots or whatever. I guess there was basically the guy who designed the robot dinosaurs as like a perfect war machine is basically the the official antagonist, even though he's been dead for centuries, because he built the robo dinosaurs for military purposes, obviously, and he built them to be self-replicating and able to fuel themselves on any biomass, including human carrion, and there's no failsafe and no backdoor, and oopsies, there was just a whittle-bitty programming error, and now they're wiping out all life on Earth. My bad. And, everyone holes up in these bunkers, and there's the bunker where they're trying to come up with the plan to re-terraform the planet and get the clones out there and stuff, and they have a repository of all human knowledge so that the humans of the future won't regress back to the Stone Age, and clearly that didn't work out so hot, just setting-wise. And what happened is the guy who was single-handedly responsible for the extinction of all life on Earth didn't really like that future generations were going to know about his whoopsie-doodle, so he wipes the archive and kills all the scientists.
Wow.
Which is just, way to double down, Buster Brown. So... And it's just like, I don't know, man, there's a part of me that really has a fondness for the post-apocalyptic genre, despite how much I tend to dislike specific kinds of apocalypses. I mean, I've talked about how much I like the Ghibli apocalypse and stuff, but I don't know, there's something very, very interesting and haunting about the idea that you can get this cool new world out of the literal ashes of the old one, I guess. And
I feel like it depends on how far away from the actual occurrence of the apocalypse you are, because I feel like stories that are so far into the future where the apocalypse has happened and the world has already moved on and created its new society and whatever that's going to look like tend to be really interesting to me. But if it's the apocalypse is actively happening or just happened and we're dealing with the immediate aftermath and everything kind of sucks still, you tend to get more into that grimdark zone, and it's a little bit less
yeah, that's more of a bad time. When you've got like the Ghibli apocalypse, I mean, like, here's the thing. I say Ghibli apocalypse, but really there are only 2 Ghibli apocalypses. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and say that we're done with the Horizon Zero Dawn spoilers for now.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, but basically...
I had no idea. Now I feel really stupid when we had the stream with Tim on. He was like, Blue, what do you think the plot of the game is? And I'm like, I don't know.
You probably just hunt robot dinosaurs for a while, get the coolest armor set, and win! Woo! Right. So basically, of the Ghibli apocalypses, there are essentially two. One of them is in Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind, and one of them is in Laputa Castle in the Sky. And in Nausicaa, the Valley of the Wind, like, the apocalypse happened recently enough that the Earth is still poisoned by it, but not so recently that it's like a living memory thing. I think it's maybe hundreds of years ago. It's been a while since I watched that movie. And then Castle in the Sky, the only hints that the world is post-apocalyptic are that in some of the beautiful flying aerial shots, when they have shots of the ground below, there are very overgrown craters that you can really only see when you're that high up, which is, you know, not, I mean, it paints a picture, and not a very good one, but, and there's the fact that the ancient superweapon they're finding is a space laser pointing down, so you can guess what made some of those craters.
Quite.
Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah, but like the Nausicaa apocalypse is it's interesting. You know, the whole premise of that movie is that well, I mean, this isn't the spoiler, this is the premise of the movie, is that there's this thing called the Sea of Decay, which is this massive toxic fungal forest, where like if you go in there you need like a gas mask, and sometimes eye protection, and even then sometimes spores escape from the Sea of Decay and grow elsewhere and are toxic, and it does bad things to people. And the main character, Princess Nausicaa, she's basically the only person who's like, I think that this forest is maybe making the best of the earth that we created. Like, it's not that the forest is the enemy, it's that there's toxins in the earth and the forest is essentially purifying them. Because she has, like, a secret underground lab where she's been growing spores from the Sea of Decay in clean groundwater, and the spores aren't toxic when they grow that way. So it's like, the Sea of Decay, while it's deadly and scary and full of massive bugs and shit, is healing the planet, which is neat. I think that that's a really, really interesting and hauntingly beautiful premise for a post-apocalyptic setting. Especially because everyone else is like, the Sea of Decay is the enemy. Maybe if we blow it up, it'll stop growing bigger everywhere we blow it up for some reason. And the antagonist in that movie is trying to essentially use an ancient superweapon, one of the quote-unquote god warriors, giant robots with laser faces, to blow up the Sea of Decay. And turns out nuking the thing that grew where you nuked it before doesn't actually make it go away.
Come on, guys, we figured this out with Godzilla.
Yeah, you'd think they'd have, but that's what I think is cool about this. Like, now it's not so immediately post-apocalyptic that everyone remembers how bad it was. You know, this is like generations later where all they know is the fallout, and they're like, maybe if we hit the fallout with the biggest weapon we've got, it'll go. And I just, you know, I mean, that's a theme in Horizon Zero Dawn too, the idea of knowledge being lost and you know, history going in circles, which is interesting, I think. That's actually also part of the opening animation for. Oh, hey, Daniel Green, thanks for the $20.
Oh, Daniel!
Hey!
Hey! We were on your stream and now you're on ours. It is the circle of YouTube life.
Yeah, speaking of time going in circles. But oh god. But yeah, the opening animation of Castle in the Sky goes the same way. It basically does a lot of just environmental storytelling over the opening music and credit crawl, because it's like it's this person standing on a hill with this little wind farm, and then it shows more windmills and then more windmills, and then it shows this like fortress with these propellers taking off from the ground, and then more and more of them, and then clouds and smoke and fire, and then a girl standing on a hill with a small windmill going, like the very beginning of that again. And it's like, oh, okay, so we're basically at the point where history has started to repeat itself, but we're not in the let's all chuck giant super weapons at each other stage, which is, of course, the main plot of this. I don't know, man. This is just a genre that I think is very it's how to describe it's like a really good stretch, you know. It kind of hurts, but in a good way. Yeah. And Breath of the Wild, honestly, same vibe, really. Like,
I wonder if you could argue that it's like when the post-apocalypse is the setting that informs the story rather than being the story of the apocalypse itself. That's when it becomes this interesting subgenre, because it seems like with a lot of these stories, if you loop Breath of the Wild in, it works too.
Yeah.
The post-apocalypse is not the apocalypse has happened. It's over. The plot is not that there is an apocalypse, but the post-apocalypse is the core setting of the game and informs how the story is able to play out based on, you know, the lost you know, the lost information, the lost knowledge, people dealing with the reckoning of something that's either 100 years ago or however many hundreds of years ago. I think it's a really interesting space to kind of tell a story in, because it's something that can be difficult to find a one-to-one direct comparison for in terms of like writing what you know, but it's informed by, I think, a lot of feelings that happen immediately after tragic events and things, and so it creates an interesting sort of like space to work in there.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think on that note, with Breath of the Wild, you know, we get flashbacks to everything going to shit.
Such as.
Yes, yes. Well, but this is, you know, the pre-everything going to shit.
Yeah.
It's just that, like, if we had to play through everything going to shit, it would be heartbreaking. And, you know, just picking it up through bits and pieces and hints, like, that's one of my favorite storytelling techniques, the apocalypse log, or, you know, like, you find half a diary and it's like, I'm really optimistic about this experiment tomorrow, and I retire in 2 weeks. And you're like, okay. Finding this in a bombed-out facility next to a skeleton probably shows that it went well.
Or there's the actual plague notebook written in the 13 whatevers from the Florentine guy who's like, and the great mortality ended in, and he did not finish the sentence because he wanted to write it down after the fact, and then he fucking died.
Yeah, good shit. That's the kind of dread I love. I was saying this yesterday. Age of Calamity, I feel like could have been just this incredible gut punch if they had actually gone through with the Calamity actually going like it's supposed
Zelda,
to.
man. They had to like add another timeline because
the way they do it, from the perspective of someone who has actually played through the whole game, the way that they do it is that you play through, basically the first version of it is that you play through it as it's originally happening with minor tweaks and things here and there. And eventually you do get to the scenario where Ganon takes over, all of the Guardians and Divine Beasts are corrupted, and it's game over. And then the time-traveling, like, Kinder Egg dude opens up a portal, and then you jump back from that, and then there's some more timey-wimey shenanigans, and then you save the day with the help of the modern champions, Sidon, Tiba, Riju, and Yunobo. But the game does actually take you to the point at which everything is completely boofed, but it then timey-wimeys itself out of that. So, like, yes, but also, like, they do let you sit in it for a while. It's not just like, okay, we're gonna skip past that because that's an unpleasant thought. Like, no, they do actually go for it.
That's good. I think that didn't... I think I missed that in the cutscene montage I was watching or something. But I feel like they set out to make an incredible gut punch of a premise. You know, like most of the time when you're telling a story like this, the horror is kind of cushioned by the fact that it's in the past. Like it sucked, and reading about it, like it's almost like you're twice insulated from it. You know, like watching a horror movie or something, you're insulated from it because it's not really happening to you, but you know, it's still freaky. Watching a character, you know, like reading somebody's diary as they get hunted down and like something terrible happens to them, you're twice insulated. You're sort of experiencing only the character's horrified catharsis by proxy, rather than being that horrified catharsis. And I feel like by basically setting out to make the prequel where you live the horror, it's a tall order. Like, that's a toughie. But I feel like they could have done something pretty effective if they wanted to do that. If they wanted to do it. And it's clear that they didn't. All right. No more spamming in chat, my dude.
Children.
It's bombs.
Together.
You got him just before me. Anyway. It's just, you know, like, what you could have done with that. Because, of course, you know, the Dynasty Warriors premise is, like, you hop between characters. As long as the characters are around, you know, you can bip around in the party and everyone's got a different moveset. And that's mostly how Hyrule Warriors and Age of Calamity plays out. I just feel like, you know, we know from timeline-wise that, like, the four heroes, they were in the Divine Beasts when everything went to shit. And Link and Zelda were by themselves, which basically means you could just be playing as them, and, you know, you could be playing as Link. Possibly in one of those unwinnable wave scenarios where no matter how well you're doing, you still get chipped down, and then the minute you tip over, Zelda gets her goddess power up, and then you're playing as Zelda for the rest of the game. Just like, wrecking shot. I mean, we don't know what full power Zelda is exactly capable of, but she clearly, made it through all that hot nonsense.
I mean,
with
again,
no difficulty.
you do actually see Zelda power up in Age of Calamity. Like, it's not
right.
that like Link hits the deck and then she gets her full power, but like, a similar scenario to what happens in the final cutscene of this memory rush that we're doing happens in the game, and you do actually see like what Zelda can do when she's like full goddess mode, bow of light, like unstoppable version.
That's good. That's what I want.
Like that is in there.
Right. Okay. I guess the thing that bugs me, and it's weird for me to say this, is the part where it has a happy ending. I mean, come on. It's a prequel to Breath of the Wild, the game that is steeped in so much implied horror that we keep finding new bits of it years later. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm glad that Breath of the Wild has a happy ending, but like some stories, if a story is a prequel to something where the beginning premise is everything's gone to shit, it feels weird and disingenuous for it to have a happy ending,
Yeah.
I feel like we gotta talk about this. It's not at all related to any of the analysis we've been doing, but I love Link with just the top part of the Phantom armor on because he has the funniest proportions. It's like,
He's a Dorito man.
What is?
Yeah, he's
a Dorito
Dorito.
man. It's incredible. I feel like we get a glory shot of that once you get over dying.
Yeah. Hopefully it'll be not rainy, so I actually have a chance of climbing stuff.
Incredible.
Nope,
It is
still
in fact
raining.
violent.
Oh, good.
Oh, no.
Okay, so we have to get to the tower. Let me just real quick open up the handy guide that I got for myself. Oops.
I think the front gates are probably
Polygon.
going to be one of the more challenging ways to get there, just because.
Yeah, unfortunately I don't have Rivali's Gale. What side of the... Okay, it's the bottom right side.
Right. Maybe just go like cliff jumping,
Yeah,
Try and scooch around.
that's a pretty solid option. Yeah, it's that one over on the right. Actually, here's the thing: if I go up this main path and then just glide across, I can do that. That's yeah. I just have to go up this main little thoroughfare and just not die to Guardian.
Yeah.
I remembered I had one more minor complaint about what I've seen of Age of Calamity, and it's nowhere near on par with what I was just complaining about. It's a very small thing. So I don't know many of the details, but I do know that there is, time shenanigans, and there's some non-canon bad guy who seems to know stuff about the future. I remember seeing him and being like, oh, he's got big Girahim energy, like the secondary Zelda villains that all kind of look the same, and they've got weird makeup and a cape. And I don't know, he's clearly got advanced knowledge of the future. That's his whole thing. And there's that bit where after you've been just mowing down bad guys, in a bit of ludonarrative dissonance, the cutscene starts when you're in those misty woods, and you get ambushed. Oh no! And you get kicked straight back into the pedestal with the Master Sword in it, and your sword is coincidentally snapped, and then Zelda's in trouble, oh no, and you pull out the Master Sword, and the bad guy's like, what? No way! And I had been working off the assumption that this bad guy with knowledge of the future probably already knew that you were the chosen one.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is too easy. He's clearly setting this, he just happened to ambush you in the one place where your sword is. I mean, this has to be a ploy. And instead he's like, no way, a chosen one. This is totally inconceivable in a fucking Zelda game. So parts of it kind of feels like, Age of Calamity to me kind of feels like the Teen Titans Go to Breath of the Wild's Teen Titans, in that it's more brightly colored, the characters are a little more basic, the plots are a little more simple, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we could chalk that up to it being, for one thing, it's a different type of game. Breath of the Wild is, an open world first-person RPG.
Yes.
And Age of Calamity is much more like, we're gonna finagle this plot somehow so that we can all end up fighting each other in some sort of wave of combat. I have to wonder how much of that maybe influenced the more brightly colored story as opposed to Breath of the Wild's more meditative experience.
Yeah. I mean, Dynasty Warriors as a premise is not based for sitting around admiring the sunset, cooking
Yes.
yourself a nice meal on the edge of a cliff. No, that doesn't happen in Dynasty Warriors.
I am super excited for Breath of the Wild 2, though. Like,
Oh,
in the middle of all this
100%.
conversation, like,
100%.
so
excited
jazzed for
for
Breath of the Wild 2.
So hype.
I mean, look, all we need from Breath of the Wild 2 is Breath of the Wild, but more, and that's what we're getting.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
God, and the soundtrack. I listen to the soundtrack for just the trailer music, like, probably once a week, just because it slaps so hard.
Oh man, I just so good. I wish YouTube stopped or Nintendo stopped taking down all the Zelda soundtracks on YouTube though.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah. Although I did see some pretty spectacular Twitter trolling about that, where at some point Nintendo was like, "Hey, super fans, what's your favorite soundtrack?" And like dozens of people responded with this video has been taken down for just like screenshot like, "Oh, this one's a total banger. Tied between these two, just can't choose." It's just woof.
Love the collective consciousness of the internet sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a horrifying experience, but every once in a while there's a little glimmer of glory of everyone suddenly having the brain cell all at the same time.
Yeah. Well, you know, there's also something very funny in an annoying way about these massive mega corporations that simultaneously want the free publicity of the internet and don't want anybody on the internet to be able to show any part of their work ever.
Yep.
So it's like, what do you want? Do you want me to like describe it? Yeah, it's great. There's like a string part. Oh, you're gonna love it. Oh no.
Okay.
Okay.
Look at it. Look at his whole. He's so chonky.
He's very chong.
Alright, let's see if we can...
It's the
skip
shoulder
ahead.
pads.
It's the shoulder pads.
It's very very
It's
80s,
the shoulder pads, like
80s blazer power
Yes,
stance.
yes.
Yeah.
This is not the first time in the last like 2 weeks that I've talked about the shoulder pads of like the 80s power suit. This is the second conversation I've had about them in as many weeks, which is does that ever happen to you guys where you're just like for no reason whatsoever completely separate groups of people all talk to you about the same thing at the same time, like roughly the same time? Like I had a run a while ago where I kept having people who would like through no prompting of my own bring up the band Shinedown, and I was like, why are we talking about the band Shinedown? It's 2020. What's happening?
Wait, hold on. What did they do that? Whoa! Haven't let your light shine down. Or was that just a different?
No. Maybe
Really?
I'm gonna look up their Spotify.
Okay. Awesome.
The only Shinedown song that I know is Second Chance, which is the one that's like tell my mother, I'm doing the best I can. Whatever. Let's just search Shinedown.
I'm having such a hard time with this clip.
Yeah, this is kind of a shameful display. Oh no.
It's like, oh, I'll
it's
get the
okay.
tower out of the way so that we don't have to worry about it later, but like, embarrassing.
Chat tells me that is Collective Soul, not to be confused with
not to be
Shinedown.
confused with Shinedown. Fascinating.
Yeah. Well, sorry. It's got it in the title, or it's got the title in the, you know what I mean.
Roll credits.
Yep.
Woo! Sorry, just saw you make it to the top of the cliff.
Yeah,
We're a
well,
little bit
I'm
behind.
a few seconds behind, so it's like, oh, Blue is doing something. Oh, watch out for
Yes.
that Guardian. Hey. Okay. Huh.
This game is pretty unforgiving if you don't have high stamina.
Yeah, this game is
Yeah.
real rough in the early game. Like, after, like, the midpoint, the game it's not a pushover, but, like, you always have the tools to address a situation. In the beginning, though, this game is so brutally difficult.
Yeah.
If you try to go everywhere, like, this game really does want you to take your time in exploring, which is very non-conducive to shitpost speedruns.
True, which I actually really like. I like how the gameplay kind of enforces the narrative they're trying to establish. I mean,
Yeah.
there's all kinds of games that inadvertently produce ludonarrative dissonance by like making it so that the most efficient way for your character to get around is by dodge rolling everywhere, and it's like
You can say Skyrim, it's okay.
it's just like I get why this works, but also I feel like it's not in character for my protagonist to be doing this and for everyone to just be cool with it.
The secret word is horse clipping.
You know, Skyrim is actually one of my favorite games, and I know that's not a hot take or anything, but I feel like you have to either love it for the glitches or just accept that you're going to have to deal with them or mod it, which is pretty much the only way to play the game at this point because it's been out for how many years now?
A while. I'm still pretty butthurt about the Souls Time quest, honestly.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
think
but
'cause-
the Dawn Guard DLC is so good. I have to wonder if it makes up for the Solstein quest being as mediocre
I mean,
as it is.
I believe you, but look, the problem I had with the Souls Time quest is it was riddled with glitches. Like the evil zombie dragonborn you're fighting, there was a bit where
Iraq.
yeah, him, yeah, like he like teleports onto the back of a dragon and flies around a ridiculous far distance to recharge, and then he comes back to fight you again. Mine got stuck on the dragon, so I was just like standing on top of this tower with literally nowhere to go, firing arrows at him. I was like, is this what I'm supposed to do? This feels completely unreasonable. And then when I killed him, he fucking clipped through the bottom of the tower, so I couldn't even get his loot.
Damn it.
And when I looked it up, the game was like,
no! R.I.P.
Oh,
tragic.
that's harsh. That bites.
Yeah, tragic.
Classic Bethesda polish, right?
I saw someone in chat ask about the new Shang-Chi movie that's coming out and if we're excited for it or not. And I saw a trailer for it just now in the theater this morning when I went to see The Green Knight.
The 10 Rings?
Yes, Simu Liu.
Yeah.
Oh, not this cliff again. Fuck you. All right, lesson learned. Be more aggressive with save states.
Yeah, it's our own special purgatory.
Yep.
I keep seeing the trailers for that, and it does look very fun, I gotta admit.
I have like a very specific hope for the way that it's shot, because I really am hoping that they'll take some cues from like Hong Kong martial arts movies, because this is the perfect opportunity to do like a great little stylized movie in the MCU, because very often their movies are all shot the same way, and the ones that stand out are the ones that don't. So like it is being handed to you on a platter to have shot this with just a little bit of that kind of that fight choreo, some of those fun shots that are more practical based, and
yeah, no,
I'm
absolutely.
hoping against hope, but the trailer doesn't look like that is how, like, at least the way the trailer is cut, I didn't get that vibe. But it's always hard to tell.
Yeah, one of the things that I will stand by for the MCU is that I don't know where I've said this before, but it is best when MCU is a filter through which other genres will come to the viewer.
Exactly.
So, like, my favorite MCU movie forever until the end of time is Winter Soldier, because it's just a spy thriller front to back. It's got your spies, it's got your action, it's got like actually some really like interesting like thematic like Cold War kind of politicsy business going on, and it's just great. And all the other really good MCU movies are the ones that are, you know, a genre and then just like but MCU-ified. So like Guardians of the Galaxy, space opera but MCU, instant classic.
Spider-Man Homecoming?
Spider-Man Homecoming.
Teen drama.
Excellent.
Yeah. The ones of MCU. Like
I mean, that movie just happens to be about Spider-Man.
I mean, that movie's got, you know, problems, but it's very solid, especially by MCU standards. But yeah, no, I'll defend Winter Soldier basically forever. It's, you know, classic spy movie, and the whole the way that the character dynamic plays out. And I've said this before, I think that Winter Soldier is the only MCU movie where the plot only works if the characters like each other and care about each other as people. Like every other MCU plot just kind of happens to them, but that's the one where the driving force of the plot is Cap and Bucky, and however you want to read that dynamic, you know. And I think that's really cool. But also, you know, the MCU works best when it's not just kind of trying to stamp out an MCU movie, when it's trying to do something and the MCU is the way that they're doing it.
Should have seen that one
So
coming.
yeah, Hong Kong cinema would be great. Just I guess as a litmus test, is Donnie Yen cast as anybody in that movie?
He doesn't appear in the trailer, and I don't think he's credited in the movie, so I don't believe that he is, but feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on that.
Yeah,
I know. If Donnie Yen is not in your movie, then
it's not going to have that right Hong Kong cinema vibe.
It's not going to have that wrong flair. It's not going to have that right vibe. I mean, like, look, I'm a particularly large fan of the Hong Kong kung fu movie and all of its subgenres. I wrote my thesis on it, so I'm a particular fan. But and you know, this movie is clearly stylistically at least taking some cues from that particular genre and from that area of the world. So I would hope that they would cinematically also do a little bit of fun shots and fight choreo that just hints at a place they could be drawing inspiration from. Although I'm not gonna put high hopes out there, because The MCU certainly has a style that they have stuck to pretty rigorously, regardless of the genres that they've been hopping through in their movies.
Yeah,
So.
I think with any genre of film or media, whether it's, again, to cut back to the Westerns will never die, or superhero movies, the strength of a genre is its ability to adapt. And we've seen some hints of how that can happen. And whether or not we see more of that will determine whether or not this thing has any future, or if it will continue to just be like, yep, Marvel movies are Marvel movies, that's the beginning and end of it, or if it's like, yeah, no, you can actually, like, you can play with the formula and accomplish a lot. That's what will determine how long this... Oh, I can't climb over that.
Oh, buddy.
Will determine how long this sticks around, I think.
Yeah, I think we're seeing a little bit of pushback to the kind of like MCU format now that it's been running for so long, and I think it's really so having just been to a movie this morning, I finally broke my streak of having last seen Cats in theater. The last movie I've seen in theaters is The Green Knight. R.I.P. to the end of an era, but you know what? I stand by going to see Cats in theaters. I think that was a good choice on my part.
I mean, I did it too. It's just not the last movie I saw in theaters.
Can we take a second to recognize that as Link is having this this memory right now, he is being targeted by 2 separate guardians and will die in the process of recollecting this memory.
They respect the character development. They're like, oh, hey kid, look, you need to work through some stuff, clearly.
Yeah.
We're gonna give you a minute, recollect.
We'll give him a minute, yeah.
I like to imagine that Zelda's in the background like, what are you doing? I saw your whole journey. What was that part where you just like stood around? You just like froze and then got exploded by 2 guardians at once and fell off the castle.
Do we want to watch all these cutscenes or just kind of skip it? I mean, we're going through all this effort. Let's at least watch the cutscene. It's like 2 minutes long.
Yeah, I've got no complaints.
Yeah, we've committed to this bit. We're looking at some stuff.
I have to say, like, as far as royal regalia goes, this outfit slaps. It's super cool.
I love that it is a crop top and yet not a crop top all at the same time.
It is a truly powerful energy.
Crop tops. Yeah.
I love that Zelda's undershirt has like quilted ab patterns on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Ganon better watch the fuck out. She's about to snap him in half.
Little, like, half-hand gloves with the Triforce pattern on it, that's like, ooh, that's some good, like, only makes sense in the context of, like, Hyrule and, like, Zelda game lore, but that's just like, oh, that's nice design. That's a really cool touch.
Yeah. No, it's very solid.
Greg, Blue, you can say it, you know. You can say what this is. What would you call this? Good, what design?
I believe the answer is, good game design.
Oh god.
Incredible.
Shout out to the king, by the way. The absolute worst character in this game.
Rome sucks.
Arguably single-handedly responsible for everything going to shit.
Yeah.
And then has the audacity to show up as a ghost while you don't remember him. Go ahead.
One of the funny things about Age of Calamity is that, like, the one major character change that causes the events of the game to not transpire as shittily as they could is that Rome is a much better father in Age of Calamity than he is here.
Yes, the core issue for every story, daddy issues.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Indigo, I finally finished Immortals Phoenix Rising the other day.
Oh,
and I didn't expect the end of the game to turn so much into like a Zeus is a terrible father fest. Like the entire last like 3 hours of the game is just like hammering on Zeus to the point where Zeus becomes actually like very depressed and upset about how terrible of a father he is. It like they really don't hold back.
They do not. I kind of like it. I like it because it is so tied into the format of the game up till then, where like Zeus has been riding along and just saying out loud all the things that he has done wrong over time as he's talking to Prometheus.
Yeah.
So for him to have that turn at the end of the game, like you're ready for him to have it. It's not like you had to infer all this information. You've been having all of this background chatter thrust in your face all game, so you're completely primed for his turn in the end. I don't know if it's my favorite video game story of all time, but I appreciated it on the levels that it
Oh, no, definitely not, yeah. It really tries for, like, the, you know, your flaws are what make you you, and, like, fuck! God damn it! I forgot!
Oh, God, instant!
Oh, beautiful.
I was just thinking that, like, you know, it makes perfect sense why King Rome's ghost shows up in disguise, because if Link hadn't lost his memory during the Shrine of Resurrection thing,
Be on
he would have
site.
been throwing hands. King's just like, oh, hello, young man, you look like it. And Link's just like, what? On site, bitch.
On site. That's, I think,
Oh,
my
God.
favorite phrase right now. Do you always have to get, like, one phrase that you're like, I'm gonna say this as many times as possible in the next, like, couple weeks? Because I've been,
Yeah.
like, I had a friend recently who asked me to stop saying that OSHA wouldn't approve of things, and I'm like, well, because they would. Because that's never gonna not be a funny statement, okay? It's just
Oh,
humor.
absolutely.
But
Oh,
on site has been on the mind a lot recently.
What?
Yeah.
Maybe this is like a non-question, but like I'm trying to think of like what OSHA violations OSP could possibly make, because we barely have office space. It's just like our own rooms in our houses. Like
Yeah.
how could we like I'm channeling BDG's Smash Bros OSHA violations video. Like I have no idea how on earth we could
There's that one time on stream where Red maxed out her gain while I had my headphones in was definitely a sound violation. So we
In
could
my
probably cite up
defense,
that.
you told me to do that.
I like this
You were like,
ongoing bit that we have. You know, I like how we have a real like back and forth here about gain.
I like that too, but in my defense, my audio was choppy. The gain wasn't gonna fix that, but you were like, it's probably the gain. I mean, it's always the gain. So, like, it's not my fault that
Usually
it
the
turned
gain.
into top volume roboticism. I'm
Red and
just
Indigo
saying.
have an
was
argument
good.
about gain. Everyone loses.
Yeah,
Yeah, we gotta make an updated bingo card.
Oh yeah, no, the bingo card is way out of sync.
Yep.
We'll need to. Here, that'll be our stretch goal. We make an updated bingo card for 5,000, or do we need to drop that
I
number
think-
down?
Well, the thing is, if we do it for anything lower, I'll need to make it during the stream.
Yeah, okay. 5K, we'll make a new bingo card for 5K.
We'll make the updated bingo card.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Cyan's usually the one who thinks of the really good stretch goals, like the Cleo and the Tuna were her ideas. I mean, we can also just I can just find more Cleo videos to post.
No, we can figure this out. We can think of
figure
some
this
like
out.
2K
Between the
stretch
three
goal.
of us, one of us has to have a brain cell at some point, right?
Hey!
Eh.
Awful
I'm-
presumptuous of you, Indigo.
I'm down a couple hours of sleep because I was binge reading Trigun yesterday, so I'm
Well,
not.
I've been meaning
in the
to
mood.
watch that. 'Cause
Yeah,
it
yeah.
keeps popping up. I ended up on anime TikTok, which is a whole saga in itself. We don't need to get into that, but
Oh boy.
I keep getting Trigun clips shown to me, and I'm like, I forgot that like I watched a few episodes of this and liked it, and now I feel like I should go back and finish the series years later.
Yeah. Well, the Trigun anime is like it's solid. It takes a turn for the dark. Maybe halfway through, and then just kind of keeps getting more grim. But basically the manga has the same overarching plot, but for about 14 more volumes, and it's better, maybe? There's a lot more body horror. I don't know if that counts as better.
I don't know. I made it through
Yeah.
Akira in One Piece, so I think I'm pretty I'm comfortable with the body horror.
I think you wouldn't mind the body horror in Trigun so much, because the body horror in Akira is like legitimately gross, but the body horror in Trigun is like, oh, these wings of mine, so hideous. It's like, come on, man. It's like angel body horror, you know, and not even serious angel body horror.
Yeah.
Also, I recently learned that the guy who made Trigun also made Kekai Sensen, Blood Blockade Battlefront.
really?
Yeah, which, like, I didn't know, but now that I know, it makes the most sense of anything I've ever heard.
Oh, hello,
It's like,
little Miss
oh, you mean the
Cleo.
show where...
Welcome.
Oh.
She has come to sit
Hey!
next to me on the couch.
Cameo.
She has
I've
been
summoned
napping
her
all day.
with my anime hot takes.
She actually.
Oh,
I,
we're talking about anime? I've been waiting for this one.
No, oh
We can move
god.
to it.
No. Oh god.
Do I have hot takes? Well, let's not
I
plumb
don't
that depth just yet. I still have more Trigun
Yeah.
shit to say.
Oh yeah, we got more Trigun to talk about. Let's talk about
Well,
some
just,
Trigun.
I mean, you know, just a little bit. It's. I feel like there are some things that the manga has just more time to explore, and I think the character resolution's a little bit better. Though I will say this for it, and this just might be me. every panel is really pretty after a while, but I have no fucking clue what's happening most of the time.
Oh
Like,
yeah, that's how I
Yeah.
feel reading certain kinds of literature, where it's like the prose is so nice. I have no idea what the fuck I just read. Like trying to read Milton's Paradise Lost for class in college. Like it's beautifully written. It doesn't make a lick of sense though.
yeah,
There were a few scenes in The Green Knight that were like that, but seeing as I'm warning, where it's like, oh, this is objectively a gorgeous shot. I'm not totally sure what they're trying to say here, but
Yep.
I'm here to look at Dev Patel carry a giant axe and walk through the wilderness. I'm not here for the story.
Yeah, this is kind of in the same boat where it's like it's all absolutely gorgeous, but I have no idea what the continuity of motion is supposed to be between panels. So sometimes it's like, who is this character? What's happening? A lot of these guys look the same. Oh, sorry, Zelda's having a moment.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
this is the sad cutscene.
Should we play a Zelda song in the world's tiniest violin?
Can we get someone to do Zelda's Lullaby out of tune on kazoo?
Oh
I don't have
god.
a kazoo on me because I refuse to keep kazoos in my apartment ever since hanging out with one of the greens a little too much.
I don't see a kazoo in my immediate eye shot.
I thought you were doing the Jurassic Park theme for a second there.
God. Yeah, it's like for the most part, the game is just like, oh, it's an apocalypse, it's sad, it's like, oh no, Ganon won, and it's like, ah, yes, here's Zelda putting the entire fate of Hyrule on her shoulders. That,
Thanks,
oh my god.
King Rome, you
Oh
ass.
god.
Can I
If
get
my
a
idiot
daddy
father did
issues?
anything to help, maybe we wouldn't be in this situation, Link.
God, we would be the worst at comforting Zelda.
Well, I mean, to be fair, Link's not saying anything, so I think just being there is the big help.
It's like, hey Zelda, I know your dad already got killed. Like, I can go back and like kick him for you if that would make you feel any better.
Hey Zelda, I'm sorry you're having such a rough day, but it makes you feel better. Your dad definitely just died. I see this as an absolute win.
Oh no!
Oh god.
Oh man, that's funny.
Oh man.
No.
I needed that.
Woof.
Yeah, in case
Tasty
anyone was
catharsis.
curious, I did in fact throw out my back on the last stream, and it's been hurting me on and off basically all week. Today's the first day that I think I'm okay, because either it hurts during the day or it hurts while I'm sleeping. And last night it didn't hurt, and today it's not hurting, so I think it's okay. But
I've been having that problem a lot recently with my knees because I have a knee condition, so like sometimes they just hurt for no reason whatsoever. But when the weather changes, I can usually tell when it's going to rain because my knees will hurt the night before, and they've been hurting a lot recently. This is a tangent entirely. I have the knees of an 80-year-old woman, and therefore can sense when the weather will change. I'd like to think that that's my like superpower.
Incredible. God, I'm sorry. I'm still like getting over that deeply emotional Zelda cutscene. I also just saw that Boomy Zoomy attempt.
yep,
Yes.
yep,
Love
it was
that.
great. I did a great job.
You did get some verticality on that
I
one.
did, yeah.
or-
I got some height.
and some horizontality, just a little bit.
The hill took care of the horizontality for me.
Okay, let's see.
What are we talking about before
Yeah,
we got
just-
distracted? We were talking about Trigun, I think.
Oh yeah,
Is
yeah.
that wrong?
I mean, it's like, it's a very pretty manga, but I feel like I gotta go read a plot summary to know actually what happened, because like, you know, so sometimes that's how it works, and I wonder if part of that is just like the way that manga production works. There's so much of a
Yeah.
grind, and yeah, you know, I'm not exactly gonna hold that against the creators, especially because, as mentioned, you know, this guy did Kekai Sensen, which means clearly quite good at what they do. And I think I was saying, like, didn't know that before, makes the most sense now in hindsight, because it's like, oh, let's see, massive amounts of cross themes. Everyone's got a cool long coat and a really high collar. That invisible werewolf chick just looks like Wolfwood as a girl. Yeah, okay, I see it. Main character is an all-loving pacifist who goes through the absolute ringer. All right, I get it.
Yeah, that checks. This tracks.
It does, yeah. I mean, you could play bingo with that guy's personal style, but... Extensive speeches about how humanity is kind of shit, but ultimately it's worth it because there's a lot of goodness in it. Yeah, all right, cool. Post-apocalyptic setting, yeah, that's fine.
Checks out, tracks.
Yeah. For those of you in the audience who haven't heard of this, Kekai Sensen is it's perfect urban fantasy. I love it. Basically, New York City gets fused with an alien dimension, so now it's just New York, but there's also like Lovecraftian horrors wandering around, and sometimes weird shit happens. It's great. I love it.
Oh, have you seen the trailer for the movie Lamb?
Lamb?
Yes,
No.
It looks like one of those the Lovecraft story where they got the goat kid in the house.
Oh, right.
Blanking on the name.
Dunwich Horror. Yeah.
Dunwich Horror? Yeah. It looks eerily similar to the plot of that particular story.
Yeah.
I just saw the trailer for it this morning. It's just I've done one thing today, and that's all I'm gonna talk about.
Nothing wrong with having a brand.
Various trailers that I saw in a theater this morning. But it looked I forget why this at all popped into my head, but it looks like that might be something that's we might have to watch a little bit later.
Maybe
a little bit of a Lovecraft coming around. I always love seeing trailers in theaters because I think it gives you a really good sense of like what the trends in movie movie going are going to be. I think it's really interesting the phase that we're in now because there's been a lot of pushback from the kind of Marvel way, quote unquote, in art house films in particular, or like smaller brands like A24 are trying to kind of like double down on what their personal styles are, and I think everyone's kind of going in like one of two directions. We're either getting like full medieval because we've got like the Green Knight and the Last Duel coming out, which is does not look as good as the Green Knight's trailer did, or they're going like full cyberpunk because like Neon's coming out and stuff like that. Sort of two different approaches to what is kind of the same thing because it's a lot of like long contemplative shots and character drama.
Yeah, tricky.
I am trying to find my way to the Lanayru Promenade, but without the map, it's a little tricky. I mean, I think I'm going in the right direction. Probably.
Yeah, it seems right.
Maybe. Who's to say, really?
Who's to say?
Yeah.
That's one of the lines in a song in the Addams Family musical.
Oh man, I saw that musical off Broadway like years ago. And they had a killer musical number that they cut before the Broadway release. This is the only part of my life that is remotely resembling like musical theater elitist nerd. But seriously, Clan Tango fucking slapped and they got rid of it for the Broadway release. It's only available in like low quality camcorder footage online, and it's like it was so good. So
yeah.
Bad. Here's a
I was
fun
on
fact.
the run crew for a college production of the Addams Family.
Speaking of Tango, did you guys know that the intro song to the Batman animated series is by Tempo? It is a tango.
Huh.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So Sign and I are taking dance lessons, and at one point the Batman song came on, and I'm like, why on earth is the Batman theme song from the 90s animated series playing in a fancy dance school? And the instructor was like, yes, someone has chosen that for their wedding dance. It turns out it is a tango. So I hope they like tango.
I didn't even know that was an option.
All right, shout out to whoever that person is.
Yeah.
Officially the coolest human being alive.
Oh, for sure. I think the opportunity that not enough people take advantage of is what song you walk down the aisle to, because there are so many excellent choices that are not in the Ross. I did a Twitter poll about it a while ago, and a friend and I were talking about it afterwards, and we were both like, oh, the Pink Panther theme. Can you imagine slinking your way down the aisle and the crazy walks you could do if da-doo, 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 da-doo was going in the background?
Oh, absolutely.
Like, come on.
My brain initially went to Britney Spears' "Work, Bitch," but I feel like that might be a little
that's
bit
so good. No, that's perfect.
I love the Pink Panther because like, are they getting married or are they going to steal something out of this church? We'll have to wait and see.
or both.
Only one way to find out.
Yeah.
Porque no los dos. The only
Oh,
phrase
God.
I know in Spanish.
¿Por qué no las dos? Come on, man.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It doesn't come up much.
That's
That's
fair,
come up
that's
a lot.
fair.
Everything
Yeah.
else not so much.
Oh god.
Oh man. I hope we got a memory. I know we're a few seconds behind.
We're on the way to Linear Mountain.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh, right, Percy Jackson music.
No, we're on the way
yeah.
back from Linear Mountain. This is the other bad cutscene.
Yes, this is
Bad
we're getting
cutscene?
all the sad ones out of the way.
Oh.
Well, don't keep us in suspense.
Wow.
How'd everything go up there on the mountain?
Well, don't keep us in suspense.
Yeah, how'd everything go? Need me to go punch your dad for you?
Oh.
I feel like the most unrealistic thing about this game is that Rome survived to the Great Calamity Part 2.
Yeah.
So
You're
this is
telling
just
me
gonna be the
Urbosa-
roast Rome stream.
Yeah.
Feeling sorry for yourself won't be of any
Oh
help.
man.
After all, it's not like your last shot.
Urbos is the only member of this party who isn't a disaster.
Yeah.
Someone has to have the brain cell. It might as well be
Yeah,
her.
exactly.
Thing.
Anything could finally spark the power to seal Ganon. Like, I don't know, all of our tragic deaths.
Extreme emotional duress.
Yeah, let's not get crazy here.
As much as we like collectively shit on Mifa's characterization in Breath of the Wild, she has done a lot better in Age of Calamity. Like, she actually gets a lot of opportunities to be cool, and her one character trait isn't just, oh my gosh, Link, you're so amazing, it's a shame that you love Zelda more. It's like, she actually gets to do things, and it's cool, and she's a good character in Age of Calamity.
I love
Yeah,
it when
I
my
feel like,
personality is, that's okay. I love you so much, but it's alright that you don't love me. I'm just so nice and too good for this sinful world, and I'm 2 weeks from retirement. It's always fun, you know, like,
kind of also suffers too from having a champion in this world that is just so much more popular.
so much more fun.
was.
I also, you know, I gotta say, it's interesting that, like, Zelda is actually very well written. Like,
Oh, she's
this is not one of
great.
those. Yeah,
She's a
this
great
is not one of
character in
those
this game.
cases where, like, you can tell that the writers just kind of categorically didn't know how to write female characters. Like, that's not the case
Yeah.
here. But it is interesting that, like, somehow Mifa ended up with all of the, like, I don't know, weird trad wife stuff, and, like, Zelda's fantastic, and her boss is incredible, and all the Gerudos are great, and then, like, Mifa's just like, Link is your childhood best friend who is very, very compassionate and loving and kind and pretty and like a mermaid and stuff. It's, you know, I'm just here for you whenever you need me. It's just like,
Had that like
geez,
Steve
lady.
from accounting got to write Mifa and everyone else.
the one character who slipped in before any women on the writing team could be like, okay.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. No, that's part of why I think so many people are upset that it seems like they cliffed Zelda from the start for Breath of the Wild 2, because this is the best characterization of Zelda we've ever gotten. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, use this
She's
Zelda.
so
She's so
interesting.
good in this game. You did
You know what
such
I'm
a good
hoping?
job.
I am hoping that we get like glimpses of just like Zelda and Ganon hanging out throughout the game. Like, I think that would be so fun if like while Link is doing all his crazy. I mean, you could even justify it because like, how the fuck is Zelda psychically communicating with Link all game? Like, why can't she be doing that in the next game too? You know?
Yeah,
Oh
fair.
no, she's trapped in Hyrule Castle with Ganon again. If only she had a lot of practice at this.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Hey.
Yeah.
Let's go
Kita Chuki.
here. Do I need...
Skyward Sword Zelda is like, she's like this Zelda without any of the interesting insecurities, you know?
Yeah, she's not as bad as Mifa in Breath of the Wild, that's for sure. But
She's
Skyward
pretty
Sword Zelda
close.
is
She's almost got the same personality.
she's
and that
not
she's
as
like,
I don't think she's as bad, but she is very
Right.
thinly characterized. Like
She's very
Mifa's
similar.
characterization is bad, and it does her no favors.
No.
Whereas
no.
I think Skyward Sword Zelda is like, she just doesn't really have a lot of agency, which is the problem. Like, she's doing a lot of stuff off screen. But
Yeah. Well, not only, even then, she has no agency by design, because the whole point is she's like, oh, I'm just some random elf lady and I'm having a good time. Oh no, I'm the incarnation of the goddess and now I have all these duties. I guess I gotta leave my handsome childhood best friend and go and get kidnapped and then get unkidnapped, but functionally kidnapped again. Oh my god. I'll never forgive Skyward Sword for its linear plot that is constantly like, oh, what a shame, hero. If only you'd been just a little bit faster, you could have gotten here before we jerked the plot away again. Put it in this other temple on the other side of a dungeon in a fire. And it's just
Your
like...
plot is in a different castle.
Thanks, Impa.
It's like, how the fuck did Zelda get into these temples? Why do I have to go assemble all these keys?
Yeah.
Skyward Sword, it is a lot of the best of Zelda and the worst of
Whoa!
Zelda.
Hi, Cyan, how you doing?
Oh,
Cyan
Cyan's here. Cyan, I hope
Hello.
your train ride is going well. I will see you.
Don't watch YouTube videos on LTE. You're gonna rack up a serious phone bill.
No. She's got Wi-Fi. She's got Wi-Fi.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
We're good. All good.
Yeah, no. Amtrak is very robust in its Wi-Fi offerings. It's
Even though I want to 1v1 fight the Northeast Regional, the Amtrak is actually a pretty good way to travel.
I'm holding out for that bullet train.
Oh, please.
For the all the way the
Someday.
whole Northeast corridor. It's like, what is it? It's Boston to New York to Washington, I think, and it's supposed to be a bullet train. Oh, I got careless and I fell off, and I want that. I want that bullet train.
I want that bullet train. too.
Europe has 1 billion. China has 1 billion. We can have one, right?
As a treat.
Yeah.
I got
But
from
anyway.
Shanghai to Beijing in like 6 hours, man. Come on.
That's something.
It shouldn't take me that long to get from Philly to Boston or New York or Washington or wherever.
But anyway,
Yeah.
Cyan, darling, I hope that you're having a nice train ride. Tell Sister B that I say hi.
Oh yes, chat. I will also defend Twilight Princess Zelda, who's very interesting for other reasons.
She's got the other coolest outfit of
Yes.
Zelda outfits.
And for a character who's really only in the game for like 3 scenes, generously speaking, they get a lot of personality across in those scenes.
Yeah.
And I like the implication that like she and Midna like already know each other and are like tight, and Link is just there also.
Because
Also,
Twilight
this is-
Princess Zelda is like the Zelda incarnation that just like doesn't give a fuck. Like
Yep.
stone cold, yeah, awesome.
And also she's one of the Zeldas that like it's fairly common for the Zeldas in these games to know what's up. Like Link doesn't know what's up and is constantly having to prove himself, but Zelda like knows what's up. And in Twilight Princess, she fully knows what's up to the point where she's like, oh, hey, chosen hero, this is not ideal circumstances. Sorry, you're stuck as a wolf. Everything's going to shit.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I kind of like that. You know, I like how she's like,
Yeah.
oh, man, this has got to be rough. You don't even have the sword yet? Woof. All right, good luck.
Yeah, no, it is fun that one of the things I really like about this series and the lore is that it is just constant iterations on a theme. And it's like, it's similar to the MCU thing. It's like Zelda games can be a lot of different things, and clearly they have over the years. But what's so fun is the idea that, like, the audience has an expectation of what happens, and then when you sometimes put characters in the position where they know the overplot too, it creates some really interesting examples of dramatic irony. Like, yeah, like what happens when you get a Zelda who knows how it all goes down already from the start? That's just
Yeah.
cool, and that's fun
And
to
I-
have.
And I love that in Breath of the Wild, the whole premise is that everybody knows. King Rome knows, Zelda
Yeah.
knows, Link even knows. Like, well, you know, when it's, I know that the way they did in Age of Calamity is like they got Link to be Zelda's bodyguard before they learned he was the chosen hero,
Yeah.
which is a little bit odd. But like, I think it makes sense. The way it's implied in Breath of the Wild is that like, oh yeah, you know, some random like farm boy or whatever pulls out the Master Sword, and it's like, oh okay, all right. Good job. Good news, guys. We found Link. He's not wearing green, so we weren't sure, but it's him. And we've already got Zelda, and we just need her to get her magic. All right, chop, chop. Fulfill your destiny so we can defeat Ganon. And better do it quick, because we know when he's coming. And it's like, I didn't consider that the whole structure of Breath of the Wild kind of follows the standard, you know, if you know how the prophecy goes, it goes
Yeah.
way worse. Like,
Yeah.
all right, we've got the chosen hero, we've got the chosen by the goddess. Now we just need them to defeat Ganon. We need you to awaken your sealing magic. That is your birthright and your destiny. So don't do anything else with your life. Don't be silly. Don't have any interests or cool robot shit. And it's like, the interesting thing is that part of the problem is that Calamity Ganon could, goopify all the robots because they didn't fully understand how to control them. So if Zelda had more time to, like, study them, maybe none of that would have happened and they would have just been able to use the Divine Beasts to shoot lasers at Ganon and everything would have been fine.
Zelda
King
installs
Rome.
a slightly more robust firewall and antivirus software, and the Calamity is locked out.
Yeah. She boots up the Divine Beasts but can't yet decipher the runes that say 3,789 updates queued. Would you like to restart? This is an important security update then. King Rome's like, it's fine, go back to standing in a pool.
King Rome just keeps pressing try again tomorrow on the whenever the
tomorrow.
update notification comes up.
Like, it's fine. Oh shit.
But I have so many
100
tabs open.
100 years later, oh hi, hero, I'm just an innocent old man. Ugh.
Oh, man. Incredible. Well, we continue to roast Rome.
That can be the here. Let's 2K stretch goal. We're gonna go back to the Great Plateau and beat up King Rome.
See if we can find that old man.
Yeah. Oh God.
Ooh, horses.
King Rome just set all the default passwords on the Divine Beast to password. Ganon hacks in. Rome's like, oh, how could this have happened? Zelda, if only you'd
no.
awakened your sealing magic sooner.
With all of the royal gear, I thought maybe he should have to earn it first.
Oh, man.
But it works.
Got some horses with some fancy gear, so that you can be looking fly when you're riding across the plains of Hyrule. Looking like a straight G. Let everybody know what's up, that you are the number. I don't know what I'm doing, guys.
Oh, that's such a good shot.
I don't know where this bit was going.
I like how it's canon in Breath of the Wild that Link can talk, but chooses not to most of the time.
Yes.
Like, I didn't really like his portrayal in Skyward Sword, where, like, he never talked, but he still had dialogue trees, and it was like, well, I don't know, it doesn't feel right. But I like how in this, in Zelda's diary, she's like, yeah, he's really quiet, and it's freaking me out. And then later she's like, turns out he's just deeply uncomfortable all the time, which is why he doesn't like talking, which is honestly super relatable. It's just, Look, the dynamic between Zelda and Link is like, I mean, it's incredibly smart because this game doesn't work unless you want to rescue Zelda. And like,
Yeah.
obviously it's the big objective marker on your map, rescue Zelda. But like, if the player doesn't want to, then it's just the game railroading you. But the way that they craft their dynamic, and because Link is a silent protagonist, it is entirely on the back of Zelda's characterization, which is why making her this like incredibly layered, nuanced, insecure nerd, as Zero Punctuation put it, is just like brilliant because you like her and you get, you like her and you get the impression that Link likes her for the same reasons you do. And of course you want to rescue her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good writing.
And it's also, and we're going to get to some of these cutscenes soon, where originally Zelda really doesn't like Link because he's the manifestation of like Rome's disapproval, like, oh, you need a bodyguard, you need protection, you need all this stuff. Where Zelda's like, I'm fine, shut up, Dad, fucking leave, I can take care of myself. But
Not just that. It's also, for once, Zelda's the one who has to prove herself. Link is the one who just gets handed his destiny on a platter.
Yeah.
He pulls out the sword and that's it. Everyone's like, great, you're the chosen hero. Now you can bodyguard the princess. Zelda's the one who's the disappointment who has to prove herself. And she hates it. And I love that.
Yeah.
And of course, like, Link is just this completely inoffensive, nice guy who really does just want to keep her safe. But from her perspective, it's like he's just the embodiment of everything she isn't. And then, by the end of their memory truck together, she likes him so much that him dying in her arms is what causes her to awaken her goddess magic, which, I mean, sorry, it's up for debate if he died, but come on, it's called the Shrine of Resurrection.
Yeah, look, there's only so many words that you can use to describe medical shrines, and I feel like if you go with resurrection, that it's pretty clear what the intent was.
Would have been easy to call it the Shrine of Healing, but no.
Yeah, wait a minute. The Shrine
Would
of
have
a
been
quick
shorter,
nap.
fewer syllables.
The shine of a long rest.
Yeah, a nice hot bath to really get the muscle aches out.
Yeah. Oh my god, Cleo was donutting, or she just like
Oh,
Oh.
wonderful.
loops up. Oh god. Okay, hold on. Wait.
Love it.
Hold Hold on, team. I'm gonna take the headphones out for a second. I gotta go take a picture of this.
Hell yeah.
Quick, blues away. Everyone do their best blue impression.
Yeah. Oh man, Rome is so cool, but not King Rome though. Let's not confuse things here. Rome, on the other hand, is extremely cool. Here on this map, you'll be able to see.
Okay,
Oh,
real quick. I just took a good picture of Cleo, and when we get to, oh my god, she's looking at me. Oh, whoops. Hold on.
She's noticed.
Oh. Did he go again? Is he off headphones?
I can't tell. Blue, are you on the headphones?
Oh, no, he's back.
Oh, wait,
Okay.
wait, that might have been a coincidence. Blue, can you hear us?
No, I can hear you guys.
Damn it, okay.
I took a picture. I took another picture. When I get a chance, I will post it on Instagram, and you can see how cute
Whoop, whoop.
little Miss Donut Cleo is right now.
Instagram or Twitter?
Oh, I'll post it
Martino,
on Twitter. You're
those
right. You're right.
And you know what? Maybe we should do that if we hit 2,000 donations.
Ah, yes. Smart.
Finally, motivation.
Yeah.
Motivation in my stream impossible.
Oh, yeah, it's over there.
Oh god. Oh, the
Oh,
writing in
man.
this game is so good. I'm so happy. I hope it holds up in Breath of the Wild too. Honestly,
I think so. I
high
cannot
hopes.
conceive of a reason why it would be taking this long if they were not putting in a lot of effort into it, because it's like, think of the way that Nintendo does things. A lot of times, you know, they try to focus on gameplay and focusing on making the like minute-to-minute experience of playing fun and new and different. There's a really good Game Maker's Toolkit video called Putting Play First that talks about Nintendo's whole design philosophy. But when the engine for the game is made, the plot is already basically established, and the entire world is already built. What on earth is taking you 5 years unless you are working really, really hard on the story and the depth within the game itself that is, you know, beyond what was there in the first place. So it's like, yeah, you know, if they were just doing like, it's another Breath of the Wild, it's basically the same game, but there's like 3 more things in it, that would have been out like 2 years ago at this point. But it's not. So clearly they are putting in a lot of effort into this, otherwise it wouldn't be taking so long. Because the
they
gap
also
between
might
Breath
be-
of the Wild 1 and 2 is the same as the gap between Skyward Sword and Breath of the Wild. That's a lot.
Yeah,
So,
that's
you
like a
know.
whole new design, whole new console. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things they could be spending time on. I mean, functionally speaking, once those islands get up in the sky, it's a whole new map.
mean,
with
yeah,
a whole new
yeah, yeah.
traversal mechanic, but
Oh, dragon! There's our boy. There's Farash.
woo!
Man, as soon as we stop doing dragon rushes, we just see dragons for days.
No,
'cause
Indigo.
we keep
As soon as
talking
we
to
talk to Impa, we see dragons for days.
Oh boy.
Okay, we're looking
Yeah,
I think
for
that
a
might be
big
my favorite thing
tree.
I've ever edited for you.
Keep an eye out for a big tree.
Big tree.
Yeah,
True.
no,
I know you're turn around a little bit because it's, I think,
It's
right
not that
like
one.
below one of these. It's not that one, but it's right near it.
yeah,
I know the
it's
memory you're looking
close.
for.
Yeah.
Oh god,
It's,
it's
like,
so
not
cool that he
quite
goes into the
overlooking.
water. God, I love that. Oh man, the dragons are like probably my favorite part of the game because they just exist in the world. It's so damn majestic.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I feel like my perfect game would be a combination of Breath of the Wild and Shadow of the Colossus. You know?
Ooh, yeah.
Like the exact same gameplay and chillness of Breath of the Wild. I mean, I guess the divine beasts are kind of similar, but like imagine if there were just a million more of them
Yeah.
and killing them also helped you rescue Zelda for some reason.
I think you need to go a little bit more inland for the tree. Like, I feel like it's near that log, but it's sort of like backed by that ridge, you know?
Yeah.
If I'm remembering correctly. It's been a minute since I played this game.
Pretty rude of them to give you a memory based on one specific tree.
It is a very distinct looking tree compared to
Oh,
the
yeah?
other Zelda tree. It's got like a rock at the bottom of it. So you can tell that it's sort of like when something is very specifically animated in an otherwise
Oh,
painted
gotcha,
backdrop.
gotcha.
You're like, ah, yes, this is definitely an important object that may or may not move in the next couple seconds.
Hmm.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I remember Shadow of the Colossus was like originally they had like 48 colossi designed.
Yeah.
And some of them even got into the modeling stage, so their like
Yeah.
settings are way far out in the game. And I just feel like nobody would complain if they did like a PS5 re-release of Shadow of the Colossus with all 48 colossi.
Oh, I mean, the thing is that the reason a lot of those guys got cut was like, that timing and
There it
stuff,
is.
but a lot of them got cut because just gameplay wise it didn't really work.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, I agree it would be cool if they were all in, but I can understand why they weren't. Is that one? It's that one. Is that one?
Hey.
Yeah. But
Hey,
yeah, no, it is
special-
cool. I mean, honestly, the Shadow of the Colossus PS4 and now I guess PS5 remake was so well done. And then Blue Point Studios, the guys who did that, did Demon Souls last year. I'm very excited for whatever they've got going on next because they do such good work with their remasters and re-releases.
Oh god. Sorry, that reminds me. There was an actually that got released recently and they were identifying maps from games and the only
Yes.
one I recognized was Shadow of the Colossus and nobody got it. And I was like, "No!"
Aw,
The
damn.
giveaway is
man.
the like Maya style runes on the right side are of course the stylized icons for the colossi.
Yeah.
Didn't one of the guests guess that it was somehow Bionicle related? Because
Yeah,
that
they guessed
also
it was
fits into that
Bionicle.
general- I think I watched it
Oh.
this morning.
Everyone makes ancient Mayan robots.
Yep. Yep. I haven't thought about Bionicle in a while, but did you guys used to have this thing where like there'd be like one or two books that just lived in your bathroom and you would just like read while when you were a kid? Because we used to just have like two books that just constantly were in a drawer next to the sink, and so if you were gonna be like hanging out for a while, you would just read a little bit. And one of them was one random Bionicle novel, and I could not tell you what Bionicle novel it was, but I do know that the cover was green. It was weirdly serious for a story about Bionicles.
That might have been the one where they
Bionicle
go to
stories are
the
weirdly
separate
serious.
island and they all get like infected and stuff. I used to be a
Sounds
Bionicle
right.
kid. But yeah, there's this one story where like there's the original Bionicle story with the Toe of Light, and then there's the second one where it's different, and there's this one scene like in the movie where they go to this random fucking island to get this MacGuffin, and then they come back like the next shot. And there's a third movie that's all of the nonsense that happened when they went on that island. It's so weird of a way to go about telling a story. It's very funny.
I was never a Bionicle kid, but I did actually watch Bionicle Mask of Light semi-recently
Yes.
because for a bad movie night, like somehow
really?
it won the poll. Yeah, it was crazy. It makes absolutely no sense if you don't know what Bionicle is.
Yeah.
It gets pretty weird, honestly.
Yeah, it's pretty bonkers.
Like, it's pretty standard up to it because they're like, oh, we're trying to find the chosen one who can put on this mask. Hey, unlikely hero, take this mask and go find the chosen one. Sure hope he wasn't inside you all along. And then you're never gonna guess what happens.
Nah.
But then like he ends up fusing with the bad guy, and then they hold up a big thing, and then they get squished and go back to being two separate people, and then the movie ends. So that was interesting.
It's weird. It's a weird movie, yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Scott
video
McNeil
games, though.
voices like two of the main characters
Oh, that's
who are
fun.
nominally supposed to be two different characters. He voices the angry red one and the purple one with no personality. Also, why are there like isn't there one for earth and one for stone?
Yes, it's so
And one
weird.
for metal,
It's so
and then-
weird.
And then one of them is pulling double duty both as wind and plants.
What a weird combo.
hell is up with that lore?
Why would you split up? Wait, hold on. So they got Earthstone and then also one who has to double up in plants?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so,
it's
red
earth,
is
stone,
fire
and
and
metal.
sometimes lava. There's blue, which is water. White, which
Yep.
is like snow and ice. Green, which is like the toe of the jungle. So he's like air and plants and jungle stuff. And then there is black is stone, brown is earth, or I got that backwards. I don't know.
Wasn't there a purple one?
And then I don't. Who's the sixth one? Fuck.
Gotta be the purple one.
I don't remember the purple one. I mean, I'm sure there was, but like I don't. God, what the? Who's the?
I don't know, man.
No, actually, no. That is all
dude.
six. I can count. That's six of them. Yeah.
I just remember that the ice guy white one was like kind of cold and aloof, which is
Oh my god, I remember the white
top
one.
quality characterization.
No, Kopaka was definitely the coolest one.
I
my
just
god,
remember
it's
that,
coming
like,
back in waves.
I know. I'm like, as soon as we started talking about this, I'm like, wow, I remember more details about the Bionicle 1 book that I read that I.
This is the real memory rush.
Join Red, Blue, and Indigo as they go on an adventure through their own memories and discover something about themselves that they all know far more Bionicle information than any of them assumed at the beginning of the stream.
Hey, leave me out of it. I only watched one movie.
Link, you
You
need
knew
to
that
buy
there
6
was
of these toys at a price of $20 each to complete the set. Link, there's a new one every other year. Or no, there's a new one every a new one every 6 months. Fuck, I can't count.
Too many ones every year.
Biannually. Damn it.
Biannual Bionicle.
Ugh.
Oh, God.
Oh. That's why they're called Bionicles.
I just remember that there was the bad guy in the movie was like, my evil plan is to destroy their unity, which I assumed meant sowing dissent, but actually meant like hitting the red one with mind control juice and then making him more of a dick. And everyone was like,
the red ones always get mind
yeah,
controlled.
it's always the one who's already kind of a dick, and they're
Yeah.
always the red one, and then
They
they
never
always
mind control the ones that are like really good friends with everyone and actually could cause some problems if they were like faking their way through like sowing
Yeah.
the seeds of dissent. It's always the person who everyone already kind of is like, all right, Jimmy,
Yeah.
you can chill out.
It's always the Raphaels that go rogue and not the Michelangelos.
Oh, I have a very serious question. Why? So all the Ninja Turtles grew up in the same sewer, right? Like they
Right,
all grew up
yep.
together in the same area. Why does only Raphael have a Brooklyn accent?
Oh.
Who did this? Why do they not all sound like Splinter? Like what's what?
I mean, to be fair, not many people in New York these days have a really thick New York accent,
so then why
you know?
does Raphael have one?
I mean, you know he's doing
a
it because
sewer turtle.
look, I guarantee you that what happened is like they watched a movie or something, and Raph was like, "This is going to be my entire personality from now on." And now he's been in it for too long, and he's got the plausible deniability that they live in New York. So it's like, yeah, you know, I can get away with it. But it's like, Raph, nobody else in your family sounds like this. You clearly watched one of those like you know, Godfather style movies or
Yeah.
whatever.
You watched Rumble in the Bronx once, and now you made it your whole personality.
Oh God.
Yeah,
In the 3D animated one, not Rise of the TMNT, but in the 3D animated one that came out before that, he was voiced by, damn it, what's the actor's name? He played Samwise Gamgee,
yes. Yeah. Oh.
and sometimes you can hear it just on the edges of his voice.
Sean Astin?
Sean Astin, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is just hilarious casting for Raphael the Ninja Turtle. It's solid. He pulls it off. It's just so funny to me.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think most of my exposure to the Ninja Turtles came from the 2003 version, but I've seen some of the other variants throughout the years. And every like couple months or so, I'll listen to every single Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles theme song in a row because there are compilations of that on YouTube, and they all
Of course,
slap.
of course,
So first
of
of all,
course.
like it's always a hype. It's like a workout playlist.
Yeah.
But, you know, I like to listen to them on New Year's and then decide which of the 4 turtles we want personality for the next year. You know, sort of like setting expectations. Am I gonna be a party dude, have attitude, do machines, or be a leader in blue? Those are the 4 options.
Is it attitude or cool but rude?
Depends on the theme song.
Oh, okay.
It changes from show to show.
Right. How silly.
It's
is it?
always around being attitude of some
Well,
variety.
I
but
mean, look,
sometimes
we could just as easily be like, Raphael is a lancery dude, and also a big guy who's cool but rude.
yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
I
I do
like-
remember there was that 3D animated TMNT movie.
Yes. Yeah.
And that
From,
fucking
like 2006. It
Dude.
was so good.
That like rainy fight scene on the roof is
Yo.
burned into my brain. Like, I haven't watched that
Oh,
movie
man.
since I was like 10.
I don't believe it, but I actually caught
I just remember like that was always on when I was a kid. Like that was one of those movies that they constantly played on like Cartoon Network at weird hours of the day. so you would get just like bits and pieces of it constantly. It was so good.
Incredible. Oh, Zelda's so fucking cute. Oh, the thing with the frog. Ah!
My favorite animation is the little shimmy that she does to get closer to Link. It's
On the
so-
knees.
Yeah.
Aw.
Yeah, it's
How
so
could
sweet.
you not love this lady?
Yeah.
Taste the frog, Link. Don't be a wuss.
Eat it.
I thought you were the hero of time. Link's like, I don't remember if I actually ate that frog. Okay.
Then he eats rocks in Age of Calamity, so clearly he should not have this much of an issue with eating random things that Zelda
Rockstar
finds.
is alive.
I would argue that they might be more difficult to eat than a frog.
Difficult, sure, but like, imagine the emotional toll.
Imagine the dental
We're gonna
toll.
go to do the
Yeah.
hardest one. Okay, give me a second. I need to
That's okay, we can
organize
just-
this. We're about to get one of the consistently most pain in the ass memories to get.
Hell yeah.
Right.
Chat, reminder that if we hit
There.
2K on the donation thing, we'll be posting pictures of Cleo on our social media platforms.
The donut
Yeah.
picture specifically.
The
'cause when
donut
she
picture,
naps,
yes.
She turns into a little donut. It is adorable.
So cute.
It's so sweet.
And if we hit 5K, we'll create a new bingo card. All of
Yeah.
these donations are, of course, going for the Philadelphia Mural Arts Society, which is a great organization promoting community building as well as arts education in the city of Philadelphia. And if you ever find yourself in the great land where Nicolas Cage did film part of National Treasure, you too can view some of the amazing works that the city of Philadelphia has produced.
Yeah. Yeah. And even for those of you who are donating that aren't in the Philly area, aren't in the U.S. area, we still very much appreciate your donations because a lot of the work we do is usually for larger groups, but we wanted to take this opportunity to spotlight a few smaller groups where streams like this don't happen quite as often because usually and this is the stuff we do. Like we'll hit the Trevor Project, we'll hit up Feeding America, we'll do Red Cross and stuff, and those are great, but they get a lot of love, because they're doing a lot of really broad work in a lot of places. But wanted to take this opportunity to do a little shout out, raise some funds for a good old hometown charity. And by the way, jumping back to last week, I was speaking with my family member and some friends over at Wide Angle Youth Media, and they were so thrilled and thankful for all of the support that you all were able to offer to them, and they were really, really deeply appreciative of that because being a small charity localized to, or a small organization localized to one city, it's kind of tough to raise funds outside of that. So it really meant a lot that all of you donated. Not all of you, but like that so many of you donated.
Who were able, that we really appreciate it. Not to get completely off topic, but someone in chat asked if we grew up with Power Rangers, and to that I say, it's morphin' time, baby.
I did not, and I haven't been able to get into it retroactively, although I did watch the live-action movie from, 2018. I don't know why I needed to specify live-action. Power Rangers is famously live-action. But it was good. It was good, and I'm sad that there won't be more of it because it tanked at the box office. But it was fun.
Yeah, it did do great. It came off the tail end, that was on the heels of the live-action TMNT movies, and they were doing a lot of 90s nostalgia properties, but they weren't doing well in the box office, and so I think we've kind of seen that trend die out a little bit there. It's picking up in animation, but sort of dying out in live-action feature films. But I grew up with Power Rangers. It was one of my favorite shows as a kid, specifically the Dino Thunder version, but also Mighty Morphin. Ride or die. My text tone currently is the communicator beat.
Of course.
For me, my favorite Power Rangers, or at least the year that I was into it, because they did it new every year, and that was the fun of it. I really liked the Ninja Storm. That was cool.
Yes.
The Maroon and the Navy
period in,
Power Rangers were the coolest dudes. They ruled.
They added Maroon and Navy.
Yeah, because
Yes.
it was
Ninja Storm
interesting
had
that
a lot
instead
of
of doing a
funky
full
colors.
instead of doing a full slate of 5 to start, it started off with 3. There was red, blue, and yellow, and then there were the bad guys, the Maroon and Navy, and then they joined the team. And then they got a green guy, so then they became 6, and it was so cool.
Yeah, it's
And they
interesting.
were ninjas, and they had swords, and it was awesome.
There was a period of Power Rangers shows in the mid 2000s where they did, because Dino Thunder was the same way. They had the original team was 3 Rangers, red, blue, and yellow, and then they had the angsty White Ranger who was sort of an antagonist for a few seasons, and then settled into grumpy heroism, and then also the Black Ranger who was frozen in amber for a whole season, and nobody kind of talked about it because he was the mentor character, and they were just we gotta put him out of the way for a while, and so he was encased in amber in the cave that they used as a base, and he was just always in the background of shots. It was hilarious. But there was a run of several variants of Power Rangers where they did Ninja Storm was one, Dino Thunder 2 for the three-man band, I guess you would call it. When did they fridge Tommy Oliver? Season 2, I think. But yeah, they had a lot of concurrent series coming out, because that's when you get like Mystic Force and SPD and all these variations of Power Rangers where it's like Power Rangers but with a theme. And they've sort of slowed down in recent years, but that was like the golden age of the Power Rangers for me, is when they had like 6 or 7 concurrent versions of the series running at any given time, and they just all had a different gimmick. Like Power Rangers but with capes and magic, or Power Rangers but they're also cops. You know?
Yeah.
That might
Power
be why
Rangers
I've
is fun.
struggled to get into it afterwards, because it feels like everyone gets into the Power Rangers they watched when they were like 6.
Yeah, everyone has
If you're
their
gonna
Power
watch-
Rangers. It really is
Yeah.
like unique to the person.
If you're gonna watch one Power Rangers series, you probably should just watch Mighty Morphin, the original one, because it's probably the most like accessible. There's the least that you need to understand at the top of the show, because they kind of explain everything as they go, and it's the most straightforward, and it's sort of like the classic version. But everyone, like you said, everyone's kind of always stands the one that they were into as a kid.
Yeah, like, I mean, accessible, sure, but is it, like, good?
I rewatched it recently and enjoyed it, but I am an existing Power Rangers fan,
Oh,
so I can't
okay.
I can't necessarily say that. I mean, it's a campy '90s like kids action show, so like plot wise, there's not a lot going on. But
Yeah,
it's
see,
kinda
that's
fun.
like, I can, I can put up with a lot if it's fun, but my standards for fun usually involve, like, good, solid, consistent character writing, and campy 90s action frequently does not do that.
No.
Yeah. I also like the Time Force one. That was kind of cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah? How does
Yeah.
that one go?
Well, they travel.
I don't know. I could not tell you.
Oh,
I
Good
just remember
sign.
it was cool to like 8-year-old me.
Incredible.
Yeah. There was an episode in Dino Thunder, which if you're gonna watch one Power Rangers episode, it's the one you should watch, where they have the American cast watch one episode of the Japanese version of the show and just like do a Mystery Science Theater 3000 watch along to it, and that's
God.
the episode,
What?
and it's great. It's so good.
What possible explanation could there be in universe to explain that?
It's just on TV. They're like, wow, someone in Japan made a fan version of our life that we're living. It's so good.
Okay.
It's
That's pretty
awesome.
funny.
It's really funny.
I feel like they almost did that in that's like this is a jump. That's kind of similar to what happened in Don Quixote. Because
yeah, the sequel.
yeah, because
Yeah.
like in between Don Quixote Part 1 and Don Quixote Part 2, which if you buy a book now, it's both of them sandwiched together.
Yeah.
In between when Cervantes wrote the first and second parts, someone else like took it upon themselves to write Don Quixote Part 2 because they were sick of waiting. So in the actual Part 2, Don Quixote and I was also thinking about it because we just got Rocinante, our horse. Don
yeah.
Quixote and good old Sancho go to beat up the guy who wrote it and make him apologize for writing fanfic.
Yep.
It's amazing.
It's very ballsy.
And, like, this is meta
Later
level
followed up-
storytelling that like would not appear in the wider world for like centuries.
Yeah. And when modern writers got pissed about fanfic, they just got lawsuit happy instead of writing follow-ups where their protagonists went off and beat up the people who wrote the fanfic.
Yeah, like
I feel like-
take the more complicated, higher effort, higher reward route, you cowards.
Yeah, like, geez, Anne Rice, quit suing people and just write a sequel to Vampire Diaries where your protagonist eats them.
Boom, roasted.
Yeah.
Also, I'd like
Yeah.
to point out that the Spring of Power here, for anyone who has played or is playing Skyward Sword, it's the same exact designs as the springs in Skyward Sword, which is a really cool
Oh.
piece of continuity world building. That this is just like it's literally like they look exactly like this, except these ones are all busted up. It's really cool. And actually probably the subject of a future detail diatribe.
Yeah. Pretty rad how the architecture style survived at minimum 10,000 years unchanged.
Probably closer to like, given the way that the timelines work, like probably closer to like
Yeah.
100,000, honestly.
Yeah,
Because like
I mean,
it was 10,000 since the last Calamity.
yeah,
And
which
that was
already...
even like way after the latest Zelda game. So
Yeah.
drawing the line all the way back to Skyward Sword is like, that has to be like several, like dozens of thousands of years at
Yeah.
least.
Oh, that reminds me. I had this pointed out to me yesterday, and I fully didn't even think of this. But, when we were, like, dissecting frame by frame the Breath of the Wild 2 trailer,
Yeah.
the thing that didn't occur to me, that was pointed out to me yesterday, is that the arm that's sealing Ganon, what if that is the first Age of Calamity's Link arm? Like, what if Link did some shit? Because that
There's-
explains why it fuses with you and why it helps you out.
There are a handful of theories about like how Breath of the Wild 2 relates back to the first Calamity. They are competing theories, and there are many that attempt to answer the same things with different ways. I don't know which version I buy into the most, but there is definitely some like. There's some first Calamity shit going on. Whether or not it's like the original Link or what have you is too tough to say.
It would be extremely cool to see their design for First Age of Calamity Link and possibly Zelda. I kind of hope, like, sometimes these games will acknowledge previous Links, but usually it's just like, it looks like the same Link, but there's a statue of him in like an ancient temple, so it's clearly not the kid running around in the modern day, you know? But like,
Right.
you know, we could acknowledge that sometimes Links look different than other Links. But that would require a larger timeline.
Links come in all shapes and sizes. All Links are valid.
Yeah, all Links are valid.
They just super
Ponytail
color corrected
Links.
the trailer footage so that Link actually has like black hair and like heavy eyeliner this time. He's just the emo Link is Breath of the Wild too.
No,
you know?
they just take the Twilight Princess approach, and Link is just like, he's a brunette this time, super jaded, knows everything that's going on, is like, yeah,
It's
save
edgy
the
Link.
princess, I've been through this before.
Yeah.
Give me the sword, goddess. We both know that I'm worthy.
Yeah. Oh god.
Incredible.
I like some of the sneakier hints in the games where they connect to older games. Like in Twilight Princess, it's implied that the skeleton warrior thing that teaches you new moves is a previous Link.
Oh yeah, that's the hero of time. That's the guy from Ocarina of Time, the old
Right,
hero.
which
yeah.
is cool
Which
as
is
fuck,
Cool
which
as
is-
fuck. That's so cool.
And kind of tragic because like that guy's down an eye and pretty jaded and a skeleton, and it's like, oh Link, what happened to you? But,
So, do you think like are you born named Link, or do you get renamed Link when you become the hero?
well,
like-
historically, most Links are named things like Sponge or Butt or you know. I think the fact that this one is named Link is just a coincidence, or maybe like Link is the equivalent of being named like John or Frank.
It just seems like a risky move if if people are aware of the cycle in this world to name your child Link. I mean, I guess it guarantees that they'll have a great role to play in their life, but it also seems like they're gonna have to deal with a lot of shit just because you gave them the name Link as a kid, you know?
Are you kidding me? Can I not take a horse out here? God damn. Useless ass horse.
Get out of here, Rocinante.
Go be free.
Oh, God, I love the surfing on the shields in this game, especially on the sand where it basically doesn't do any shield wear damage. It's great. Oh,
Which
this makes me want to play Journey again. Fuck.
So predictable.
I went sand dune surfing at the Great Sand Dunes National Park in the United States,
Ooh.
of course. It's super fun, but sand actually does put a lot of wear and tear on boards because you have to put like wax on the bottom of them
Yeah.
to make sure that they can actually slide. And after like one run down the dune, you know, the wax is gone and you gotta re-wax your board.
Yeah.
So it's plot. I'll put in the goofs section of IMDb. I don't really know how we would run this.
Okay, we've got... I am not keeping track of how many we have, but we're doing really well.
Yeah,
we've
this
only
is
got
not
a couple.
bad.
We've got Lake Colimo, which is over by the Dueling Peaks. We've got the Ancient Columns, which is up by Rito Village. We just did the Karkar Bazaar. We did Olden Canyon. We've done Urch Plain. We've done West Necluda. We've done Hyrule Castle. We've done the Spring of Power. We've done the Sanadin Park Ruins. Yep, that's the horse statue. Linear Road Eastgate. Yep, did that. Hyrule Field. Yep, did that. Okay, cool. Yeah, we got 2 more. And then the final one. Also, this is cool because
Nice.
this is the scene where I mean, we'll see the setup for
Ego
this in a second, but
plan.
this is the one scene where Zelda's like, oh wait, maybe Link is actually pretty cool. That's
Yeah.
something.
I mean, I will stand by the statement that there is nothing more romantic than heroically rescuing somebody from peril.
I mean, you would be correct.
Yes.
I feel like we should address this because I'm seeing a few people in chat referring to me as Cyan. Cyan is not on the stream. I am Indigo. I recognize that I've thought that maybe all 3 women on this channel sounded different, but then I was editing a podcast episode recently and Red said, oh yeah, in the exact intonation that I do, and I was like, oh, maybe we do all sound the same.
No, it's just because I'm a vocal chameleon, and now that I've upped my gain, you can hear all the resonances in my voice that make it harder to identify what's going on.
Anyway.
Chad referred to that as the famous "Oh no, he's hot" scene, which is so
Yes.
funny.
That is very funny.
I
we
mean,
need to go back
Honestly,
to-
I
Are
could
they
see
wrong?
this Zelda having that like specific reaction of like,
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, I gotta say, I will also regularly be like, guys, come on, we all sound completely different. And the thing is, we do. I'll stand by that.
Yes.
But there is overlap in our vocal ranges. It's like if you have Troy Baker and Nolan North in the same game, you can tell that they're different people, but sometimes they'll like, one of them will like do an effort noise or something and you won't be able to tell which is which because they have
yeah.
hefty overlap in their vocal ranges and just the bass tone. So like, I'm a contralto, you know, I have a low, comfortable range. I can hit higher registers, but not as easily. And I think I probably have the lowest voice of any of the women on the channel.
Yeah.
But that means when I'm up in like my speaking range, I'm generally not in my lowest register. And that has overlap with Indigo with your comfortable speaking range, especially the lower parts of that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck. It's okay.
There are 3 of us. But we have some broad overlap in terms of how we sound.
Yeah. And you know, just the way that we talk is different.
Yeah.
But that means that individual sound bites can sometimes be
Yeah.
tricky to distinguish. You know, saying
Yes.
like a phrase like "oh yeah," especially because we hang out so much and have a tendency to absorb mannerisms from each other as a result.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
God
yeah.
damn it, that reminds me. I've been picking up fucking Columboisms recently, and I hate it. I can't
one
make
more
it
thing.
stop.
But-
Just
but-
one more
to
thing.
do a.
It's not even just one more. I've been doing the hand thing where like he like holds
Yes.
it out real far, and then he kind of like brings it back to the back of his head, and it's just
Here's
ugh.
my problem with that is that that's just like as an Italian American woman who owns a trench coat, I'm pretty sure I could cosplay and act as Columbo with no problem right now.
Oh, 100%. I gotta take you to some conventions, man. Once it's like fucking safe, it's happening. I'm laying down the law. 2022 Anime Con circuit.
Yes.
I-
I've never been to a con, so I feel like this is the perfect opportunity.
I will say on the subject of having trouble distinguishing people, one thing that Cyan and I both found in the course of adjusting to all socialization is done through voice calls. It is really hard to separate crosstalk when on a voice call because
Yeah.
when you know that people sound different in real life, that's fine, but it is really hard to actually separate that on a call because people who usually do not sound super similar become indistinguishable. Or, for
Yep.
instance, if in your D&D group you have 2 brothers whose voices are not the same but are close enough that on a voice call you cannot tell which one of them is speaking, it becomes
To be fair,
impossible
I know
to play.
exactly which 2 brothers you're talking about, and they also sound very similar in real life and
Both
do like
greens.
to imitate each other.
Yeah.
Both greens.
Yeah.
Well, you know, that's the problem. Unless you've got a really high quality mic, digital recording is going to flatten the sound quality. You know,
Yes.
you're gonna lose undertones and intonations, and
Yeah.
and even then, you know, it's different in person. And also, you know, a large part of why your voice sounds different to you is you're getting bone conduction. You know, like you're not just hearing your own voice coming out of your mouth; you're also hearing it reverberating up your jaw and into your inner ear.
I'm sorry, bone
So it
conduction
adds-
sounds like a shit post.
Check
No,
out my
man.
new metal band, Bone Conduction.
Come on, guys. It's like there's actual technology, like hearing aid tech,
Yeah.
that lets people hear even if their ears are damaged through that. So it's quite cool. But yeah, you know, especially if you're using kind of like a crappy laptop mic or something, you know, you'll be able to hear the pitch and the tone, but you won't be able to hear the resonance, the undertone, the higher harmonics, you know, all that stuff.
Yeah, it's one of the struggles of trying to do any sort of like remote conversation or recording if you get any sort of crosstalk happening, and you know most folks don't have very complex mic setups just built into their computer day to day. I think
Yep.
you know we all have to have it for professional reasons, so it's
Yeah.
a little bit better. But you know most of our D&D group doesn't necessarily, so
Yeah.
it's
It's
something just be
also-
aware of and keep in mind.
It's amazing how much people do pick up from lip reading. Even for those
Oh,
of us
yeah.
who have like on paper have, you know, like can ace a standard hearing test, like actually distinguishing the sounds that you are hearing can be quite difficult.
Yep.
So, you know, that's why like subtitles is a thing that's been getting a lot more traction even outside like, you know, hard of hearing communities, because people are like, "Oh, wait, these are actually really helpful." So like Ubisoft video
subtitles
games, for
slap.
instance, have now just like blanket policy. All Ubisoft video games start with subtitles on, and 80% of players finish the game with subtitles on. Whereas, you know, before, if you made it to like an opt-in thing, you'd get like, yeah, you know, you'd get people opting in, and for people who needed it, they would turn it on. But when you just have subtitles on, it's like people actually really do enjoy having that. It makes it a lot easier to understand what's going on.
Yeah, I love subtitles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been watching this. I can't watch something without it. Even if it's like in English and a show that ostensibly I'm not paying attention to, I need to have the subtitles on because it's just a force of habit at this point. I also used to watch a lot of I watch a lot of foreign stuff too, so then it's like, well, it's not gonna be in a language I understand anyway, so we better. But
Yeah.
I've been watching NCIS for no reason because it's not good, but I've committed to it and I'm 7 seasons in, and I always have the subtitles on for that because I'm basically reading the show more than I'm watching it at this point. It's always on in the background.
Actually, you know what is exactly my shit? Watching or playing things where the spoken language is localized to wherever the media is set, and then getting
Yes.
subtitles on, like, that is so good. My favorite part of the Assassin's Creed movie, which is objectively a bad movie, is that all of the parts that take place in, like, Reconquista, Spain, it's all done in Spanish, and that's really cool.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. Which is
I
why I'm
do-
really pissed that they got rid of the Italian voice acting for Assassin's Creed 2. I know that it was localized terribly and the grammar is actually very wrong, but I still want to hear it.
Yeah, it is always quite
Yeah.
funny when when a story is set in a location and like they're just speaking accented English, usually not the right accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Assassin's Creed 2, where all of Revolutionary Paris is, or Assassin's Creed Unity, where all of Revolutionary Paris is speaking in BBC British.
Ugh.
You fucking animals.
the
I
Les
cannot
Mis
believe you did that.
The Les Mis effect.
Yeah. Oi, I'm
How
Gavroche.
do you do? My name's Gavroche.
God. Okay, where the hell am I actually going?
I tormented my friends for years by doing the most, like, guttural, high-pitched, how do you do? That's about as far as I could get before the yelling started.
But yeah, no,
Yeah.
that is where I will come to bat for like the the subs not dubs thing. You know, obviously like personal preference is personal preference, and y'all can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But not so far in like watching media in the language in which it was created. In the case of like anime, like overwhelmingly like the first pass is done by Japanese voice actors, so like that's the
Yep.
original version.
Yep.
But like watching media, even if it's made by an American studio or whatever, like watching it in the language that like the world is set is like that's the good shit. That's what gets you immersed.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, usually for me, dub or sub is, dub or sub is a tricky question, with lots of factors. I will say
Yes.
that almost anything dubbed before, like, 2005, the sub is going to be exponentially more listenable. And
Yeah.
it's nobody's fault. It's just like the anime dubbing industry was so new that like nobody was good. Nobody was getting directed correctly. Like there are
Yeah.
some good anime dubs from before. Like the Cowboy Bebop dub is good, but the Cowboy Bebop dub is only good because Steve Blum was already really good for some reason, and everyone else is passable. Like
Yeah, the way
that's
they've
the
started,
thing.
like, anime's also gotten localized differently in more recent years, so if you're going back to dubs from... the Sailor Moon dub is the one in particular that always comes to mind for me. But there's certain relationships between characters that they change in that dub. In the English dub, that's very much changes the context of certain events in the series, and so,
You could say that.
You can see
Yeah.
if, it's not every day.
Yeah.
For cousins. But... and I think localization also plays a big part in whether or not you're going for dub or sub, because you have to think about like how much did they change. And I think that the trend nowadays is to change less in the dub. More broadly speaking, the voice
Yeah.
acting quality has gotten better, but also like the amount that is, Brock's donuts that are rice balls is not as much of a thing that
yeah.
happens
Exactly.
easily,
Yeah.
Yep.
This is what we're about to
But-
get into right now is the cutscene where Zelda tells Link to fuck off, which is
Hell
then
yeah.
preceded by the cutscene wherein Link saves Zelda's life.
Perfect. Chat, look, Yu Yu Hakusho also had a good dub, but it had a good dub because Yusuke's voice actor was really good and everybody else was passable. All right. Well, and Hiei. Yusuke and Hiei were both really good.
Yeah.
Everyone else, fine. That's the thing, you know? And none of them were being directed the same way. None of them really sound like they're performing in the same kind of story. I mean, you know, Chris Sabat, who is quite a good actor, is like doing like a cartoony, goofy voice when he's voicing Kuwabara. Nobody else in the show sounds like that. And that, you know, that it's nobody's fault. The industry was new, you know? Nobody knew how to be good at this, and nobody knew what the industry was going to look like. So, you know, I'm just saying, there's a lot of things where, like, the early works were groundbreaking, but that doesn't mean they hold up.
Yeah.
And I've seen Slayers get thrown around here. Slayers is from the 90s. Way more in, like, the Stone Age of anime dubbing, the Wild West. Everybody sounds like they're, like, Lena's mostly okay, and there are a couple startlingly good performances from Yu-Gi-Oh! Actors.
Yes.
Dan Green plays a one-episode wonder, and I remember, like, I didn't recognize that it was Dan Green, but I was like, wow, Gav the Chaos Dragon is acting everyone under the table. What's going on?
Right.
Who is this guy? Oh, it's Dan Green! And then he gets killed by another guy voiced by Joey Wheeler, also acting everyone else under the table. And then, most embarrassingly, Kaiba's voice actor is also in that show, and he's not doing a very good job. He's doing his best, but it's just...
Screw the rules. I have money.
Yep.
Yeah, it's that vibe more.
Yep, it's that energy. Big time.
And it's like, no shade to the man. You know, all these people have been working in the industry at this point for decades, and most of them are really good now and have been for a while.
Yeah.
But back in the 90s, a lot of these guys, like, got the part by getting a phone call from Chris Sabat, who was like, hey, we're recording something tomorrow. Are you in town? And then they played that character for the next 25 years.
Yep. Oh man, I've been getting back into anime after being a recovering weeb in middle school. So I've been watching My Hero recently, which has had a wild bunch of spoilers. I don't know, Red, if you've been keeping up with the
I have
at all.
Yes.
The single most immediately hated LGBTQIA rep.
Yes,
of
that
all
was
time.
extremely funny. Although that does seem
so
to be a
funny.
misinterpretation. Also,
It's
on that
almost
note,
certainly.
the dub voice for Kirishima has been voicing shonen protagonists since the 90s. He actually voiced Yusuke in the dub of Yu Yu Hakusho, which is why he's so good and why he sounds way more shonen protagonisty than anyone else in that show.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because, like, I've been watching it, and I watched a lot of anime in, like, the mid-2000s, and so there's a lot of voice actors who I'm like, wait a minute, I know this voice from somewhere, and they keep popping up randomly in episodes. The most notable one is that Tenya Ida started talking, and I was like, wait a minute, I know this voice, and it was also Kyoya on High School Host Club, and I just keep getting blasted with, like, nostalgia bullets every time different characters start talking in this show.
Yeah, Hero Academia is like an interesting mix of like new and old voice actors. Like I think Colleen Klinkenbeard is ponytail lady with the ridiculous outfit. Momo, yeah. And you know, she's been in this since like day one and is really solid. And then like there's a bunch of more newcomers, which is really cool. I think it's really interesting.
Yeah. Very fitting for the vibe of the show. It's sort of a next-gen shonen thing that they have a mix of the old and new guard of VAs there.
Yeah. I mean, it's an industry that is difficult to break into, especially since most of the people who want to get into it want to get like right into it. They're like, I've got a good shonen hero voice. I want to get to the front of the line. And it's like, yeah, but that's not, unfortunately, how this works.
Especially your time as like guard number 3 first. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. It seems like mostly what you do is, when you audition, basically you get put in a stable of voice actors that they might, call if they have parts that they need filling. And then, you spend a while playing guard number 3, background woman number 2, and then eventually you're like, oh, you're gonna get cast as like a tertiary antagonist or something, and then maybe you get bumped up to like secondary. And the other thing that's interesting is that like there's fashions for shonen protagonist voices, and they change every 3 to 5 years. Like for a while there, everybody was Johnny Young Bosch or that one guy who sounds like Johnny Young Bosch with a deeper voice. And now I think it's mostly Bryce Papenbrook, but like for a while there, it's very funny to me. There's always a run of about 3 to 5 years where one guy is playing every hero.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the
So
same thing
fun.
as like trends in movies where they're like, we like these kinds of protagonist looks, and then everyone like has the same vibe for a period of time, you know? Trying to think of a good example and immediately blanking because my mind is fully consumed by Dev Patel carrying a giant axe right now.
Yeah.
Sorry, chat's pointing out that you are not immune to bodyguard number 3 just because when you're well known. It's like, that's true. Look, Travis Willingham
true.
is still making a living playing guard number 3.
I did not realize that Travis Willingham voiced Knuckles in that new and the Sonic show that aired recently, and I was like, I went and listened because I searched for this is sort of a tangent, but I searched for OSPod animated clips after a fan made one came out, and I wanted to just a little
God, the
research. Someone
fan
made
made
a
one
very
is
cool
so
animation.
good. It
So
was
good.
so good.
Yeah.
Ah, it's amazing. I was
Yeah, but
so
long story
impressed.
short, I ended up watching a compilation of Sonic Boom moments, and I was like, wait a minute, Travis? Ford,
Yeah,
is that you?
My favorite bit in that is that, oh damn it, who voices Sonic? It's Richard something.
Roger
Yeah,
Craig Smith, also the voice of
yeah, Roger
Ezio.
Craig Smith. Sorry. Right, yeah, that was the
and
joke.
the narrator on Say Yes to the Dress. You'll never be able to unhear it.
But it's because there's a bit where I don't remember. They're all on like a call, and Sonic says something, and I think Tails says, Roger, and Knuckles says, who's Roger? And Sonic says in his regular voice, he's talking to me, and then goes back to doing the Sonic voice. Because he's Roger Craig Smith.
Oh, it's so good.
So good.
Where the hell
Man,
is
I love that.
I can't see where this memory is because it's raining too hard. And I can't light a fire
our
to change
old
the
enemy,
time
the rain.
because it's raining.
And if you go under that tree, could you light a fire? Get
Yeah,
all
I'm gonna
covered?
do that.
Well, chat, this is a good time to remind you that if you donate more money, we will post the picture of Cleo as a cat donut. It's our 2,000 reward. 5,000 will work out a new bingo card. But
Yes.
2,000 is seeming a little more likely right now.
Yeah. Let's make that our goal.
Yep.
Come on, chat. We believe in you.
Restless Cricket. Yeah. I really like the way that Kaminari says his name in the Japanese dub. I don't know why. Just because he's like, Dinky Kaminari. It's in a TikTok audio, which is why it's in my head, yeah. But he just is
Gotcha.
very, very cute. I think it's fun.
Over here. That's
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's over there. That's where it is. Okay.
Oh,
And then we
we're
do
going
this
off
one. We
a
go
memory.
to Impa back in Kakariko. We get
get the
one
last
more
memory.
cutscene, and then that will be it for us today.
Oh,
I
damn.
like that Impa just sort of like gives you a memory. She's like, I see now that you've done all the legwork. Here, have this final piece of the puzzle.
Do you want to see the part where you die?
You're gonna have fun with this one. It's a real surprise.
Okay, hold on.
Should we all start doing like different voices to differentiate Red, Indigo, and Saya? Like, do we want to just spin a wheel and see how we're gonna talk each
there it
stream? Like, ward off some of it ahead of time.
I feel like that has the potential to go south very quickly.
It's probably, but you know, Went doesn't have the possibility to go south very quickly.
That's fair.
Okay, here we are. Here we are. There we go. Cool. I always forget which one this is because it's so hard to find it in the sea of all of these other trees.
Yeah, this is the one that I think bothers me the most because it is so hard to find. I don't think I've ever done a run of Breath of the Wild and been able to find this memory in less than like 20 minutes of just running around this
The
part of
worst one is the one on top of the Gerudo Canyon, Death Mountain in Eldon, because it's
That
one
one's
of a
tricky, too.
million giant spiky outcroppings on the side of a volcano that takes up a fifth of the map. That's not actually true. It's probably like a tenth, but like still.
That is positing that I already sound like an anime character, which is possibly the highest compliment I've ever been paid.
Yeah, you got like a shonen protagonist sort of a cadence, which then raises the question of like if we're the OSP anime squad, what voices should the rest of us be doing if you're the shonen protagonist?
I believe it's tradition that one of us needs a ridiculous cartoon voice that would fit better in a Looney Tunes skit.
Oh man.
I do not
The
volunteer.
Kuwabara voice. Oh.
Well, one of us has to be angsty, so someone's got to like gravel up their voice into a lower register.
All right, fine.
But I like doing the gravelly voice.
Again, it all comes back to Henry Cavill's portrayal of Geralt.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Henry Cavill's just like the walking embodiment of that. I am aware of the effect I have on women meme.
Yeah.
Yes.
He knows it. He owns it.
And also, like,
Ugh.
the original quote is so much funnier in the context of it being Idris Elba, who absolutely does have that effect on
Oh no, he
on
absolutely
everybody,
does.
really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ugh,
Yeah.
good
see.
stuff. All right, we go to Kakariko.
Yay!
Woo!
Chat
Our
has
old
recommended
friend.
another run at decking Ganon, should we desire.
No. Well,
Okay.
what if that's a stretch goal? What if that's a stretch goal, huh?
Okay, yeah, get us to 2,000 and we post the cat pick and we try decking Ganon before we call the stream.
Ooh.
I was gonna
You
say
guys better
maybe
speed it up.
25. Two
Oh,
is cat
okay,
pick. We
okay.
don't want to cheapen the Cleo reward. 2 is cat pick. 2.5.
True.
Let's do 2.5.
It's just been a
A
little-
solid halfway to our goal. 2.5. We'll be going to fight Ganon one more time.
Okay, chat, you know what to do.
Deck Ganon, baby.
Chat's really
Oh,
been
man.
talking up Suicide Squad. I have heard good things about it, and I do want to check it out. I just haven't watched it
Yeah.
yet.
The friend I went to see Green Knight with this morning said that we should go watch Suicide Squad later this week, so hopefully I'm gonna see it before the next podcast, probably.
I've heard that
Um,
Margot Robbie kills a man with her legs, so...
Well, I'm in
Powerful.
for that.
yeah.
Oh, I got the
Well,
Chinese
color me
channel.
interested.
Nice.
Oh man, I hope everybody's watched Jill Barup's One Villainous Scene video, because she talks about Harley's elevator fight, and it rules.
All the one villainous scenes were really good. I saw a couple of them.
Yeah.
But I always love those collabs that Nando V Movies puts together because they're just so fun. It's like it's a clear constraint, and then everyone just gets to do their own thing within that vibe, and it's just a fun, good time. All right,
Yeah.
and then we get this one, which is the last memory, which is on the, I think it's on the road to Fort Hateno.
Yeah, if you like go through all the ruins of like the Guardians.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah. Blatchery Plain, which sounds like a place in Britain.
Yeah, it really does.
Okay. Yep, it's right in here. Cool.
Just north of Cobblepot Lane.
Hadamar is where
And I say, old chap, let's head up to the couple.
Oh god, I was
Yeah,
rewatching
British
some
accent.
I was rewatching some Bake Off, so I've got the announcer
Oh,
voice in
man.
my head again, you know, the one that always has
Yep.
the same cadence.
All announcer voices always have the same cadence.
Yeah, but
That's
with the
correct,
British one,
Blue.
it extra has the same cadence.
Ugh.
It's all about the moments of high and then immediate lows. That's how you get an announcer voice.
They also always pronounce Genoise incorrectly, saying Genoese. There's a couple episodes where they have actual French people on who pronounce it Genoise. God, that show.
Ugh, my ongoing beef with the French language. Perfectly respectable if you speak it, I just can't pronounce anything in French correctly. It's been a running theme in my life. I once saw a commercial for Chanel perfume in a theater and turned to the friend I was there with and said, "Man, what's up with all this channel stuff they keep playing for us?" And then she got up and walked out of the theater. And when I followed her and asked what's up, she's like, "I can't be seen sitting with someone who just said channel in an audible space."
That's got similar energy to pronouncing Gucci like Gucky.
Oh God. Ah.
Like, it's not intentional. The only second language that I've ever learned was Mandarin, and it has a very different pronunciation style than French does. Pinyin and French are not even remotely close. So, you know, we struggle instead.
I mean, I guess I can understand mispronouncing the Italian fashion brands. Sometimes those names are a little loosey-goosey.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay.
Oh shit! Thanks for the
Alright.
$500, Anonymous.
Okay. Let me just kill myself here real quick. Just-
What?
Oh,
we
no,
go.
we're a few
Remember-
seconds behind.
Remember, it's the cat pick first, and then
Well, we've got the cat pick because we're at 2.2, so
Yeah.
if you get us a 2.5, then
we also go and deck Ganon.
Deck Ganon! We've had a few questions about Indigo's chibi. I continue to exist in cyberspace, and I shall remain a creature of the grid.
Yeah, I
Were
mean,
you to free me, then, like in Tron Legacy, you can't free me without unleashing an army of cyber clones who will walk single file across a bridge, sci-fi bridge to nowhere, out into the real world to take over. So
I mean,
I will
you
remain a
you were given a
digital-
physical form in that fan animation.
That's true. That's true.
Where
That was
the
sort of
hell
just like
is
the
this?
glitch in the Matrix, you know? That's how I became aware of the real world existing, and now I'm seeking a way to widen the gap so that I could lead my troops through Tron Legacy, surprisingly good movie. I was surprised how much I enjoyed it since it's a sequel to a movie that I did not see.
'Cause we're looking
Oh shit!
that way.
Thanks for the $200, Anonymous. We're really close to having to go
Oh,
deck
yo.
Ganon.
Ganon!
Oh my god.
What do you mean?
we're
Why are
over-
you guys trying to
Whoa.
fight Ganon with only 3
Holy
hearts?
heck! Give me a second. Let me post
Yeah,
this.
man.
Let me post this Cleo pic.
Told
Well,
ya.
Oh.
I didn't realize we got over 2. Holy heck!
Yeah, it was a
Yeah,
$500
buddy.
donation all at once.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I kind of hope that Breath of the Wild 2 doubles down on King Rome being terrible, and like somehow
Yeah.
the first calamity was also his fault.
The actual big boss of Breath of the Wild 2 is King Rome, and you get to go back in time to like proactively just deck him, you know?
I'm gonna say that from recent experience, endings where you go back in time and undo the plot of your story are generally bad ideas, but that's okay.
Yeah, but when has Zelda ever cared about timelines being good ideas? I mean, we've all seen the BDG video, come on.
No, look, the
Hold
problem
on,
is
let me
that
just tweet
Zelda
this out.
hoards timelines obsessively. They don't erase them. They make them all canon at the same time. And they don't even have the decency to give an in-universe explanation like Elder Scrolls. That's my favorite thing of ridiculous
so
Elder Scrolls
good.
lore, the Dragon Break.
Yes.
It's like, you read through the wiki and you're like, this is fucking bananas.
It's crazy. I think not Breath of the Wild. The Elder Scrolls has some of my favorite video game lore, like on through the series as a whole, just because so much of it is so bonkers, and there's so much that's gotten fleshed out over the games. Like the flying whales and everything that are just sort of like exist because their bones are visible in one dungeon. It's insane.
All right, cool. I have posted the pictures of Cleo.
Woo!
Woo! Gotta love it.
Where on earth is this
Oh.
memory?
Wait, but where is it on Twitter?
I tweeted it.
Hold on.
Refresh.
Ah, there it is. Just showed up.
Oh. Spicy.
Oh my god, she's so
Spicy.
cute.
It's
Oh,
a
this
picture
is
of a
so
cat.
rude.
What's spicy about it?
What isn't spicy about it?
Indigo, I need you to find a different word.
Bitter?
Wait,
No.
just a minute. Hold on.
Oh, we hit 3K. We are
we
gonna
hit
be
3K.
decking Ganon.
Oh, we're decking
Yeah.
Ganon.
When did that happen? Oh, it happened when. Wait, no, that's not right.
Where is this
Oh, it happened when
memory?
an anonymous donated $500. Thank you, and another anonymous donated 100. Jeez, guys.
Where is this
Hey.
memory? What the fuck?
Oh my god, I can't believe you made it this far into a memory stream without referencing memory from cats.
Ah,
Memory.
stop.
All alone.
Well, you know what annoys me about that? I like that song. It's the only part
'Cause
of
it's
that
a good
musical I
song.
like. It's the only song in that musical that is good, and we all know it.
I mean, you're kind of right. In the Broadway version, some of the songs are kind of fun, but in the movie versions, not at all. I do sort of like Rum
Where's
Tum
remaining
Tugger in the
one?
movie version, but
The problem
know.
is, like, the movie knew that Memory was its only good song, so they tease
Yeah.
it 3 separate times. By the time she
Todd
actually
Hooper.
sings it,
Ugh.
we've already gotten through the first, like, 5. Oh, whatever.
here's my problem. Well, yes, Skimbleshanks, the railroad cat, is a very important cat as well, Chad. You're correct. But the thing that I have a lot of beef with Todd Hooper directing movie musicals and the fact that people keep letting him do it because he did Les Mis and everyone was like, oh, he's good at this. But the answer is no, he's not. He's good at one very specific type of version of a movie musical. And it's not one that, as a ex-theater kid, I'm particularly happy with. I think he has a habit of like really banking on his one thing that he does.
Wait,
which is have
sorry. Chat's saying
I-
something. Blue,
yeah.
the memories. Yeah, you need him to tell you to go here, but you died right after the castle one, so it didn't save.
Which is why when I'm looking at this is the only one that doesn't have the little fill. Oh my god, I need to go back to the fucking castle. Oh!
Well, it's great because we gotta go there to deck Ganon anyway, you know?
God, Castle! Oh my
My classic
god.
mood.
There is a chance that we're soft locked.
No, we can do it.
Because if we can't play the memory again because we played it, but
Well,
it didn't
okay, we'll
save because
find
we
out.
died,
We'll find out.
there is a chance that we are soft locked.
Well, in that case, we can. Yeah, we got it in spirit,
Yeah.
and then we can
and
go.
then we
Oh
just
my
go deck
God.
Ganon. Then it's fine. Then we're already at the castle, so at that point, if we can't see the memory, well, Ganon's right there.
That is funny.
Oh,
Okay,
hilarious.
I'm gonna check the tower. We might just have to go fight Ganon.
I can't believe that loading up the memory with 2 separate guardian lasers pointed at our chest ended badly for us.
How could this possibly have happened?
Y'all are acting like this was my choice.
No.
No.
Link's like, I'll just pull out my smartphone. Oh, Jesus.
Oh, man. Yeah, Tom Hooper directing movie musicals. Don't let him do it, because he's really big on, like, realism, but he does this thing, right? And this is specifically what bothers me with his brand of movie musical, is that he kind of tries to go really hard on the movie part and forgets that he's supposed to also be directing a musical at the same time. And so there's a lot of, like, weird spatial issues that tend to happen, particularly noticeable in Cats, because it literally never looks like they're consistently in a real location ever, even though it is stylized to be, I assume, London. But he has a way of constructing sets where it all looks fake, and you can really lean into that because no Broadway set necessarily looks real.
Right.
But it looks like it's taking up physical space, and because he goes so CG heavy in stylizing his real quote-unquote sets, they tend to just look more fake, and I think that spatial issue kind of takes the fun out of a lot of the spirit of theater. Also, Cats sounds like it was recorded in a void, and that freaks me out because it's a musical. Why is the sound so bad?
Yeah.
Dude.
I think, it's interesting. I hadn't really considered this because I haven't watched that many theater productions, but like there is a very unique kind of artistry to stage setup.
Yes.
And stage effects, and like, I mean, a lot of the time they do effects where I have no idea how they're doing them. I was watching some definitely not bootleg movie musicals or not movie musicals, but like YouTube musicals recently, and some stuff about like Frozen the musical, and like there are some costume quick changes in there where I have no fucking clue how they do it. There's like snow effects and like crazy lighting, and it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, there's a real artistry to the way that tech theater in particular is constructed, and that's something that can be really cool on screen because it's a very practical kind of effect. And when you lean too heavily into the CGI, as Tom Hooper is wont to do in many of his movie musicals, it loses some of that magic of this practicality shining through on screen, and I think it could be really cool. La La Land has its problems, but I think it's a much better movie musical than literally anything Tom Hooper has put out, and he was actually using real musicals for most of his movies to base them off of, so he has no excuse for losing the aesthetic.
And I mean, with Cats, the stage musical, it seems like almost all of the appeal is the crazy makeup and costumes.
Yes.
And like, they didn't do any of that in the movie.
No.
And if you're gonna do a Cats adaptation, just go full fucking warrior cats. Make them actual cats. Why the fuck not?
Look, I mean, I am so thrilled that the version we got was an absolute monstrosity because I think it is very funny, and I had a great time watching it in theaters. It's bad, but in a fun way. But it would have been very cool to have, like, a well-designed balls-to-the-walls Cats movie. And for a while, there was a animated version of Cats that was in production, which I think would have worked much better aesthetically, because you could, first of all, they could be actual cats. So the weird human-cat hybrid thing could be dodged. Yeah. And, you can stylize it as much as you want without necessarily having to give in to the fallacy of realism. But,
and you could still get the celebrity actors, just they'd be voicing them. And it would be much better.
There's a good version of Cats out there. Like, somewhere in the multiverse, a good version of Cats has been produced, but it is not the version that Tom Hooper directed.
No.
Yeah. Okay, so I searched back through our logs. We do not have the memory of the bridge, so it just did not save. Because when I got killed, it did not save yet, and when we respawned, it respawned us to a point before we got the memory.
Right, okay.
So, we will go grab that, and then go deck Ganon, and then that will be us set.
Yeah.
Nice.
Perhaps we can go and, I mean, here's the thing, we're already at 2.5 hours, so we're coming up on time. And after a certain point, I will have to go get Cyan from the train station.
Yeah, we'll do a nice speedy decking of Ganon.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But yeah. Oh, God.
There's,
the story in this game is so goddamn good. It just is so well done for a game that nominally does not have a plot. The story is really good.
It's very solid. I was going to say there's a professionally filmed version of Legally Blonde the musical on YouTube, which is my most recent exposure to musical theater. And
Oh, good.
obviously that play doesn't have much in the way of like effects, but they do some crazy set work to just get all the locations that they're in. Also some high quality Irish step dancing at an unexpected moment.
Legally Blonde is a great musical. It's a great movie, but it's like the
absolutely.
musical version I almost like more because just the songs are so catchy and
So
get a lot of
catchy.
fun stuff going on. Like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, Legally Blonde the movie, fantastic. It's a cinematic classic, but the musical slaps. It's the same thing with Heathers, where I'm like, oh, great movie, kind of like the musical more.
I mean, I've never seen Heathers the movie, but if it's not the musical, it's probably worse.
Yeah,
Hot
it's
take
very-
alert.
It's similar, but it doesn't have any songs in it. It's a little bit more serious is the wrong word, but it takes itself a little bit more seriously than the musical does.
Yeah.
I like the musical version more, but I am inclined to do that in general as a ex-theater kid. So,
Oh god, that reminds me. Another YouTube channel recommendation. Hannah Bales, vocal coach, reacts to stuff. She does a series of that, and she was reacting to various Riverdale musical episodes, including
Oh
one where
my
they
God.
performed songs from Heathers. And no offense to Cole Sprouse, he seems like a lovely person, but they shouldn't have forced him to sing in that episode.
no.
Especially not
no.
for the part of JD. Is it JD?
Yeah, JD.
Yeah. Who's kind of got a lower range than he does.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, when you're singing lower than your range, it gets really weak, so it's like, let's be normal. It's like, stop, man, just stop. Just tell him you're not gonna do it. Get your twin to do it instead. No one will know.
Everything I've learned about Riverdale, I've learned against my will.
There are a couple pieces of media that are like that for me.
Yeah.
Trying to
I
think of
watched
them,
the
but
first
I've
season
willingly
When
repressed
it
them.
came out,
You watched
like
the
a-
first season?
I watched
really?
I've only watched the first season. I watched all of it in a weekend, like after it had all aired, and then I didn't watch any more of it. But I keep seeing like tweets about it, and so I keep learning more about Riverdale. The first season was kind of fun. Like it's a sexy teen murder high school. So, you know,
I'm sorry,
what it
Blue.
is.
That was a pretty shameful display.
That was not my finest hour.
I liked the gently
okay.
sauntering away, hoping that it wouldn't hit you with its laser.
yeah.
Anyway, yes,
Yeah.
sorry. Yes. I have personal beef with Riverdale because they gave Jughead a love interest, which is the cardinal sin. Jughead was the only canon ace representation we had for decades, and they ruined it. So that's why I'll never watch the show. But also, like, it kind of annoyed me in the part where they were performing Heathers, where I couldn't tell if diegetically they were supposed to be performing the songs like they were prepping for
Yeah.
a school play, because if so, it's a little weird that some of them were like singing their heart out to their love interests fully outside the context of the theater, which made me feel like it was supposed to be just a regular musical episode, but with no original songs.
I don't know. My
which is
experience in
no-no.
high school tech theater is that people will just start singing at you outside of the context of the show they're in if you're
Well,
just sitting around
I mean,
backstage long
yeah,
enough.
Red, you
No.
and I were in a play together in high school, and that seems like about the
Yeah.
experience that we had.
No, I mean, yeah, I'm not saying it's not accurate. It's just it wasn't clear whether this was supposed to be one of those musicals where diegetically the songs aren't happening or whether they are. And if diegetically songs aren't happening, you know, I feel like it's good form to come up with your own songs if you're doing a musical episode that's a proper musical, you know?
Yeah. Lucifer, in its most recent season, did a musical episode where all the songs were diegetic, and it actually was really fun.
Hell
I
yeah.
enjoy that show a lot. I think it's really goofy in a fun way. But yeah, musical episodes in TV shows are either the best episode of a season or the worst, and there's no in between. Like, it's really easy to do them poorly, but it's also
Yeah.
really fun when they're done well.
I mean, you know, a lot of it is you gotta make sure that the song is something that the actor is comfortable with. Like, that really is it. Like, anyone can sing well if it's in their comfortable range and they've got, you know, proper training. But anyone, no matter how well trained, will struggle if they're being forced to sing something too high or too low for them. Like,
Right.
fucking Les Mis, Hugh Jackman, he's like a tenor or something. the role of Valjean is not a tenor role. He's got to go kind of deeper than he's comfortable with sometimes, and you can kind of hear it. And Russell Crowe is a singer by definition because he has sung in the past. But like he's like a country singer, and that doesn't really work very well for Javert.
Yeah, he's not really a twangy role.
No, not so much. You could
Although
say.
there is a version of Les Mis where they all sing like country singers that I would definitely watch. Would it work? I don't know, but I think it'd be fun to try.
Yep. Sorry, is Hugh Jackman not a tenor? Chat's being confusing.
I don't know, man.
He's got a fairly high vocal range on a guy, but like, you know, just because he's not super bassy doesn't mean anything.
Okay, let's try this again.
Batman the Brave and the Bold did have a great musical episode. You are
Let's not make that
correct.
same
And
mistake.
Music Meister.
Yeah,
They
but
also had a...
God damn
Before
it.
they had that, they had the Birds of Prey song, which was better than the entire musical episode. But, oh no, Blue with the
Whoa.
Lasers are back.
I
Oh,
tried.
God.
I tried. God, please don't bump me back as far as you could, game. Come on.
Don't do it. Mercy.
I kind of need
Come on.
to cap this stream. I've got places to be.
Yeah.
I'm okay with this. Okay.
Okay,
Oh.
all right. Phew.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's the most cursed show that could have a musical episode that didn't? Like, what would be the show that you would
Game of
most
Thrones.
want to... Oh, yeah, you're right.
I was gonna say Breaking
Yep.
Bad, but yeah, that works too.
Breaking Bad
feel
having
like
a musical
Breaking Bad
episode
is-
would almost make sense if, like, it's all a
Yeah.
fever dream he's having. Like, I mean, there's even a theory that the whole thing is a fever dream of that other character that the guy played. You know the one.
Oh, yeah,
You know
yeah,
this theory, yeah.
The kid, the youth.
No, not the kid. The guy.
Oh,
The guy. You know the Heisenberg, the one who knocks. His actor was in like some.
God, yeah, the Malcolm in the Middle dad.
Yes, yeah. The
yeah.
idea is that it's all some crazy dream that the Malcolm in the Middle dad is having.
Okay.
And where I love the inverse of grimdark headcanons, where like it all goes well, and it's just like a game they're playing or something.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Blue. I think for this, maybe we can skip the cutscene and then just like dive off the edge as quickly as possible.
I'm
gotta go
mashing the
deck
buttons right now.
Awesome.
Oh man, the guy man was a really good descriptor there, Red. Really
I've never
nailed
watched
in.
Breaking Bad.
Really helped nail in which character in a show with many male characters. The dude man.
The dude, the man
I
with
guess
the
that's
dude.
the He-Man naming convention, so I shouldn't be too hard on you.
Yes.
In a world where She-Ra and He-Man are both canon characters that exist, I
Yeah.
suppose we can't be too picky in our names.
Not so much, no. Oh, chat points out maybe you can warp.
Are we gonna deck Ganon? Because I really don't
gotta
want to have to
deck
go
Ganon?
through all of the effort to come back to the
Okay.
castle if we can avoid it. So
That's
let's
okay,
go deck
that's okay.
Ganon, lose,
We survived
and
the
then
laser
warp
thing,
out.
so we're fine. That was
Yes.
really all it was for.
Yeah. Now we just gotta go fight the big bad.
Just real quick, have we saved?
I just did.
Okay.
Excellent.
Incredible.
Cool.
Yes, chat. The anti-grimdark Game of Thrones is that it's just a really annoying DM, just railroading the players and fucking them over when they don't play along.
Oh, yes.
It's like the perfect opposite of those, oh, it's dead all along kind of things. Like, no, actually, it's more wholesome than you thought. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oof. The
Sorry.
sludge.
We're still a little behind.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how to do this as quick as possible because
Right.
I will actually need to leave kind of soon.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Errands
Incredible.
to run, things to do.
Okay.
Do you think if we message Cyan, she'll understand?
I'm not leaving Cyan and her sister at the train.
Oh.
It is bad form to leave your fiance hanging at a train station.
Oh, absolutely.
Uh-huh. I think that's the plot of a Hitchcock movie. Or at least the inciting incident. I'm trying to remember. I haven't watched a lot of Hitchcock stuff in a while. but I'm pretty sure that the strangers on a train has something to do with the fiance getting left at a train station. I might be misremembering that. It's been a while. I haven't had the chance to watch many classic movies since I've been watching a lot of well, I guess you could argue that Beach Blanket Bingo is a classic movie, but I would put that in big old air quotes. But because of Movie Struck, I have much less control over what I get to watch these days. And
I've just got the fucking Riverdale version of 17 in my head because Betty's actor is actually a good singer. Like, she's really solid, and it's in her range. I think she's a soprano, which, you know, means like 98% of all musical theater was designed with you in mind. And then they cut to Cole Sprouse, who has to sing his lowest possible note immediately.
I saved. It's okay. I saved.
Good job. Okay,
good job,
awesome.
Good job. Excellent. Good.
I can cheese my way out of all the laser blasts by saving, dying, reloading, and starting fresh.
Save scum!
Yeah.
Woo woo. There's a little bit of a save scummer in all of us.
Oh, fuck you, game.
I guess we'll find out what happens in just a second, Red.
Oh, it didn't save you right where you were.
Oh, right.
That's rough, buddy. At least that way you're not in a death loop where it's about to shoot you with a laser, though.
Yeah, but I have to do the climb again.
Yeah, that's not great, but also you're not getting insta-killed with a laser every time you reload.
Yes, that would be unfortunate.
Oh, it's raining?
Oh, no.
Yes.
What do you mean, yes? Shut up, Red.
No, I said ass! Leave me alone!
Oh, I thought you said yes.
It was the butt word. Come on.
Who do you think I am? I'm rooting for you to get in there and punch Ganon right in his face.
Well, now I'm gonna fall and drown.
Oh, well, not with that attitude.
Well, with that stamina. I'm gonna take the alternate option.
Yes, that sounds good.
Oh, what an emotionally loaded ride this has been.
Yes. I haven't felt... The last stream we were on, I think, emotionally for me, was more of a ride, but this one has been a fun time. I haven't,
Chat points out you can use Cryonis to make pillars, which might be better.
Yeah, I guess, because I mean, it was raining again.
I think chat. Wow, that was a fall. I think chat implies that the problem was not that it was raining, but that you were wet from the water. So.
Oh, interesting. Well, let's try it.
Yep. Gotta do what we gotta do to deck Ganon, cause that's what he deserves.
Okay. I guess maybe the game won't spawn you when you're in the... It won't respawn you back into the line of danger.
That's nice, actually. That's a smart thing for them to have in there.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I keep slipping.
Is the rock wet? Is there another way up? Because I think this particular route might be
Let's try that one.
not our best option.
Uh-oh. It looks like Chad is having some spicy She-Ra discourse.
Uh-oh.
It might be She-Ra, I'm not actually sure. Oh, chat says Cryonis the waterfall.
Yes, we're getting lots of waterfall climb options.
Oh, I'm gonna die again.
Maybe it's just like the last time we streamed, you know, we managed to get to Ganon and actually like put a little bit of the hurt on him, and this time he's like, okay, not gonna let him through is just like a bit this time.
Yeah. Underestimated him. He killed 2 out of 3 of me. Not great.
The lieutenant to every bad guy who's like, actually, it's the power of friendship. These people are actually quite effective, and we shouldn't underestimate them.
Ah, yes. The
Yes.
rare competent star screams. Ooh.
Oof.
I know that we have a goal, but like I actually need to leave
No,
soon.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think like if we can get to Ganon, then just like chuck an apple at him and run. If we can't get to Ganon, we gave it the old college try. We can try doing another stream later with the Ganon off this save file.
Yeah. We're for sure not gonna go and talk to Imp about the last memory. We
No.
absolutely not that kind of time.
We have ongoing beef with Impa, so she can just chill, you know? She can keep the
Yeah.
whole "we died" to herself.
Yeah. She's like, but Link, don't you want to? And it's like, nope, I think I can probably guess.
I think I get the gist of it.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, didn't end well. It's like, but Link, don't you want to know how it all went down? I don't know, lady. I woke up 100 years later in a place called the Shrine of Resurrection. I'm gonna guess I didn't win.
Woke up somewhere called the Shrine of Resurrection. Gee, wonder what happened. What could
Yeah.
have possibly led to this series of circumstances?
It's a
If
PG
only-
mystery, baby.
If only I had some sort of context clues I could draw from. Perhaps a dictionary to look up the definition of resurrection.
Yeah. Oh, get up, Link, get up.
Come on, Link. Come on, Link.
Oh, man.
This is your Rocky Four. Yeah. Oh,
God.
you know the one
Wow,
where Sting
this
is
is-
the people's champion.
This is the most stressful thing I've ever seen.
Okay.
Zelda's just like in the room with Ganon, like nail biting.
Yeah.
Link, you know, I wouldn't have minded if you trained up a little bit more for this first.
Yeah, Ganon time.
Wow. I gotta say, you know, like, I know it's a gameplay thing, but there's something really enduring about how Link just straight up will not stay down. It's like, down
Link-
to a quarter of a heart, I will nosh down these apples and keep going, motherfucker.
This is making me think, because like if you had like an anime version of Columbo, you just know that he'd be in a big fight, and his like line that turns the whole fight around before his final power up is
just one
"And
more
just
thing."
one more thing.
Yeah.
Super Saiyan. I like to
Something-
imagine that that's what Link's doing basically.
I don't know, Columbo is such a non-combat character that I don't know, it feels like there's something deeply wrong with just the concept of him fighting.
Yeah.
It's like I've been watching season 7, and there's like 2 episodes in a row where the bad guy tries to straight up murder him. But like it turns out he knew it was coming and did something sneaky. Like in one of them, he's like dealing with this guy who poisoned somebody sneakily using wine, and then he's like, "Hey, sir, we should go to this empty restaurant tomorrow, just the 2 of us, and hang out, and I'll tell you how you totally murdered this guy." And the guy's like, "Of course, Lieutenant. Here, let me pour you a glass of wine." And of course, the whole time you're like, "Don't do it, Columbo! It's poison!" And then he switched the glasses, which must have been fun, you know, 2 decades later when he recorded The Princess Bride.
Yes.
I don't know
and
what
then
the
in the
fuck is
next-
up with this fight, but I keep getting one shot and he keeps on leaving. I feel like I'm playing on master mode or some bullshit.
Huh.
Well, we accomplished the goal of decking him, which was
Yeah,
to say, hitting him
he's
with
thoroughly
a thing.
decked. I think
Yes,
we've
deck
given him the old
accomplished.
1, too. At this
I
point,
do like-
the moral victory is ours.
Yes, this is our Rocky 1, where we become the people's
There we
champion.
go.
We don't actually win the final fight.
We did it, team.
Yay!
I broke my sword on him and then he threw a tornado at me and I died. All right, 3.2k raised. Thank you all
It's a
so
classic
much
heroic downfall.
for
Tornado
coming to the
gets thrown at
stream
you.
and
Yeah.
coming out to come see us play the game, see all the memories, have a good time, get the castle memory twice because fuck me, and deck in. And thank you all so much for watching and for donating and for supporting Philadelphia Mural Arts. I'm sure that everybody there who's part of the organization, people who show up and paint, and the people of Philadelphia will be very thankful for your donations.
On behalf of the greater Philadelphia area, I will give you a Wooder and a John, and thank you for your time.
All right, Red, Indigo, anything else that we want to say before we hop on out of here?
Nope, thanks for watching, and we'll see you when regular videos resume on Friday.
Yep, see you then.
Yeah.
All right.
Adios.
Bye.